balls.
Gotta get that last one out.
Oh, too late. That's the first word on the stream is balls. All right. Well, welcome back to another Monday night, another wonderful evening of Princess of the Apocalypse. Thank you. And balls. This is episode 41.
41.
Rebirth and Renewal. And if I can get one of my lovely players to give me a recap of what happened last week, throughout the week, all the above.
Torin.
Yeah, it sounds like me.
Boris is very ill.
This is
Boris
your
was very
brother's
ill.
spirit talking. It's Simon.
There
I've missed so much.
Simon says it's Torin.
I've missed so much. Please tell me what happened.
Well, let's see. We were still fighting Ogremak last week at the beginning, but not for too long. Nimbus was able to absolutely fuck up everyone's least favorite rock man. Unfortunately, Tyr was buried underneath rock body. But a lot of stuff happened real fast. We started healing up and trying to not get ourselves killed when the cavern starts falling apart. And
Big rock monster exploded.
yeah, and a beautiful little golden man approached us as we were teleported to a new area. And I specifically wrote down, he says, "Another one bites the dust." Because I thought that was interesting. But it turns out this was Lathander who had saved us. Us being those present, Tyr and Simon. Then we got Brands. So we're kind of like his bitches.
Yeah.
Maybe Torin wasn't the best person to do this.
I didn't think of it like that. Boris looks like his new tattoo now.
Yeah, we all got some sick new tats. We got team tats from Lathander. They're currently trying to fix Tyr and Simon. And oh shoot, actually, Boris, you've been given a gift.
I've been gifted a wonderful weapon.
Yes, you've been gifted Iron Fang that seemed to
Iron
reshape
Fang.
itself to a form that better fitted yourself.
Yes,
Then I wrote, haha, Simon is sharing a chamber with Tyr, because I thought that was funny. But also,
You should be honored.
If he had a soul,
Oh,
I'm sure he would. Which is, perhaps Tadriel, perhaps something else has taken his soul from him. But when we do find Tadriel, Torin specifically has no interest in talking to her. I wrote that down.
he's got a couple balls he wants her to meet. Of the fire persuasion.
I tried to smooch my brother, and he almost tried to suck my soul out in a non-sexual way. I resisted.
Oh.
Purely plutonic suck.
Hold on, I'm gonna go ask my wife something.
Can I have a plutonic
See,
suck?
there she goes, getting pregnant again.
But after spending some time in the medical chamber, everyone eventually returns to find somewhere to sleep. Where we wake up, begin eating. Lathander is several breakfast mascots. I believe he was a Halo-O's, some kind of Fruity Loop cereal. And then here, and I had a heart-to-heart about moving forward and how the situation is her fault. And how hopefully we can all move together forward.
I seen it
Together.
happen.
It wasn't your fault, by the way.
It's all my fault.
What have you done?
That's all I got.
Humanity.
It's an unfortunately very non-Tauran
Yeah, I
style
believe
recap.
we are currently all around the breakfast table while Thander continues to speak riddles.
Everyone's favorite.
Yeah. It's kind of. So as you guys kind of return to the game, all of you have kind of awoken and have made some sort of breakfast for nourishment, and you're kind of just sitting around the four hearths, sitting basically just going over the next or the day's events, and with Lathander sitting kind of not off out of the way, but in one of the larger couches surrounding the hearths, with a small plate of food, just kind of watching, waiting. And as you guys are continuing to fill your bellies and relax, what would you like to do?
If Lathander's not gonna say anything, Hira might ask him if she can go see Tyr.
Well, I wanted to go see Simon.
So, wordlessly, he just nods and makes a small hand gesture with a strawberry in hand, basically, letting you know that you know the way up.
Okay. I'll remove myself from the table and begin moving upstairs.
Hira will as well.
Follow Hira.
Hira's gonna kind of hold out a hand and request that she see him alone. Well, not alone because Torn wants to see his brother, but she wants to have a little more privacy.
Okay. So,
Steps.
I'll say the two of you make your way up to the stairs, or upstairs, and you do see once again the medical staff kind of not hurriedly, kind of going back and forth between Tyr and Simon. And at this point, the biggest or you notice that the size of Tyr has been reduced down to an average humanoid at this point.
Probably makes it easier on everybody.
I hope that's not a bad thing.
But the medical staff
Hira's-
kind of just wordlessly gets out of your way, and
Hira will ask actually one of them if she should be worried that his size has changed, or if that's what Lathander's doing.
they all just kind of look at each other and shrug, like, we've never seen a divine missing their soul. We can only assume that this is a part of the side effects.
Hira's gonna look upset.
You gotta love getting "I don't know" from the doctor.
Well,
He's gonna be all right, right?
How does Simon look? Still kind of the same.
the his skin tone has kind of gone a little bit more grayish, but other than that, there's not much of a drastic change in him. But back down to the to the stat or the five of you remaining downstairs. You have basically the entire chambers to yourselves to continue eating, and Lathander is still down there with you.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So, I guess just for the sake of brevity.
But Adram would want to talk to Lathander about his who he is and whatnot.
His response would be a quick, "Oh well, you'll see."
Whoever you want to be.
Adram's now a unicorn. I'll be right back.
Like we have gifts for all of you soon, but please use the chambers around to freshen up, clean up. I do believe that we will be holding a small ceremony that I hope that all of you would like to be a part of.
No.
He's gonna kind of look at Wub like,
Shit.
"You are a strange one, little goblin.
How did you make your voice sound that deep? What the fuck?
Where did that come from? Like, are you okay? Did you step on something? Is there glass on the floor?"
No, you said he has a ceremony for us to join?
Yes.
Or that he would like us to join?
Yes. And again,
I assumed he would have said this to like everybody before the other two like left the room or something.
At this point, it was just the five of you because he assumed that the other two, or he will let them take care of their business first before he berates them with new tasks.
Yeah.
But going back upstairs to the medical center, the medical staff has yet again placed some chairs down so that Hira and Torin can kind of sit comfortably next to the...
Is Hira's bed still up there?
The cot has been removed.
Gonna sit his old ass down. Knees.
Yeah, Hira sits silently besides Tyr, bows her head.
Can I try to touch Simon again? I don't know if that's going to do anything.
Make another save.
You can. Where?
Ooh, I just want to hold his hand.
Ooh.
What?
I just want to see if I can hold his hand a little bit.
So, grasping your hand, you feel the same pull that you felt just the night before. However, expecting this, you're able to hold it off, and you kind of just steel yourself to it, and you're now clutching Simon's hand.
I'm not sure why, but because of the where question, I just picture Torin playing like the nervous game with his comatose brother. Hand right on the inner thigh.
What happens if Hira touches Tyr's hand?
Oh.
Sexy.
You can give it a try if you want.
She
You
might
die.
She might have noticed something happen when Torin touches his brother's hands, and she might get a little curious and reach out. Because she's been being respectful because he's her god. Like, it's not the same kind of relationship, but she might reach out tentatively.
Are you sure this is what you want to do? No.
So, tentatively just like reaching out and not actually touching him, or do you actually want to take his hand?
She will take his hand.
Give me a charisma save.
Whoopsies.
Fair enough. I'll just take the lower of the two rolls. It's fine.
I don't think it quite matters. It was a 28 was the first one.
What a scary thing for a DM to say.
Well,
the 21 actually fails it, so no.
What the fuck?
I can see it.
My soul gets sucked out.
No,
right,
so
the night, peace.
Good news is Tyr's better.
Yeah.
As you're
she would do it.
As you're grasping Tyr's hand, you feel a slight, almost familiar connection in the back of your mind. And for a moment, you see this large battlefield. and you're sitting. You feel yourself charging through it with enemies all around you. And as you look down, you see your right hand is no longer there, and your left hand holds Iron Fang. And there's this divine power flowing through you. And then it just kind of, right as you bring the Iron Fang back to swing, you kind of pull back. You feel almost like you've kind of just seen into the back of Tyr's unconscious mind. And yes, we are. So, new rule that we've instated over this last week is that we're going to do our best to make sure that any conversations inside of the game are going to be in character. So that way we kind of, it helps with the immersion of the players. It helps with the immersion of the staff or the chat. So we're going to try to see how that ball rolls for a little while. But
Hira, when the vision fades, she's gonna kind of jerk away in surprise, and she's gonna look up at Torn and be like, and she's gonna kind of share a look with him.
Isn't it?
He's still in there.
Yeah. Simon too.
If you don't mind me asking, what do you see?
Dark room. Figure in the corner. Nothing good.
What I saw, I was here in the middle of a battlefield. It's interesting.
That is curious. Hey, Hira.
What's up?
A bit of an odd question for you, but I was curious. Do you have any siblings or family?
Well, she looks a little uncomfortable. I'm an only child. My parents, I don't actually know if they're still alive. I haven't been home in a very long time.
Oh, that sounds rough. I've always kind of been in touch with my parents. I couldn't imagine not having them.
Well, we used to be close when I was really young. They loved me very much, and I loved them too. As I got older, though, I don't know. I left home around 14. By then, we'd grown apart. It's when, and she kind of trails off, looking sad and angry. And it's kind of implied that Tadriel's involved in the rest of that sentence, and she doesn't quite want to talk about her.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, you said you left. Why?
Well, my relationship with my parents grew complicated. Our family didn't have very much in the way of money before I was born. I obviously don't remember it, but I know we lived in squalor for at least the first year of my life. I wasn't even supposed to happen. My parents didn't have the means or the money to raise a child, but they kept me anyway. And what a blessing I was. It didn't take long for me to start showing signs of my angelic heritage. My parents were besides themselves. Must have been a sign from the gods. They loved me a lot. I know that. But my angelic blood gave us access to things we wouldn't have had otherwise. And it didn't take us long to make a name and a place for ourselves in society. And as I got older, I don't know. I guess they got blinded by the opportunities I presented. At some point, I stopped being their daughter and became an object, one of great value more than anything.
Actually, kind of sad. However, I can relate. Being naturally gifted, as some would say, has its benefits. Uh, the Kularav family wasn't exactly poor, but not rich either. Well enough to send Simon and I off to the academy, of course, but nothing so grandiose as being an SMR.
Here kind of shrugs. I don't hold anything against my parents. I want to make that clear. The fame and power of being parents to one of the only ASMR in the city is intoxicating. They loved me in their own way. They just lost sight of. I've since found purpose elsewhere. I knew from a very young age that I'd never be happy on a pedestal, dressed up and sold off for political power and money, as I knew was my intended lot in life. I wanted to do more than that. Tad, I took the chance when I got it to chase after something more. So, Simon attended the academy in Waterdeep too? Was he as talented as you?
He did attend the academy with me. He's actually my younger brother. Actually, I'm not sure if you knew that. Uh, so he started a few years after I did. Ooh, shit, Jesse. As for talent, I'd probably say he's more talented than I am.
Really? I find that hard to believe.
Kind of hard to see that now, given his current state.
What was he like before all of this?
Um, ambitious, kind of funny, kind of, but really, really ambitious. That's what comes to mind at the moment. You might have noticed his legs.
She nods.
That's the price people pay.
Wait, are you gonna lose your legs too?
No, no, not me. I'm nowhere near as eager as Simon. In fact,
Magic takes away your legs?
shortcuts and magic tend not to mix that well. Simon took a shortcut.
What happened?
So glad Wove's not here for this.
There are plenty of tomes that certain levels of apprentices should not have access to. You can read them, and you might even be able to cast the right kind of incantation. But Simon's body was not ready, simply put. His spell backfired.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, we all were. Any magical talent he had was stripped right out of his body. They left him like we have him here, crippled. Not soon after, I left the academy for my own personal reasons. I'm sure you noticed the tension with Mature. But someone needed to take care of Simon.
What about your parents?
Gone. Not dead, mind you, just gone. That
Hira kind of frowns at that.
if we needed them, we could contact them, but I like to think we did okay on our own. And honestly, I think we did. When you met me, I'd probably been doing my gig, I suppose you could call it that, for the better half of a decade or so.
If you don't mind me asking, what exactly were you doing before you met us? I believe you were some sort of purveyor of rare artifacts, you mentioned?
Purveyor. That's a nice way to put it. I'm a bit of a thief by nature. I'll reach into my pocket and pull out my little glass eye. This is a glass eye, stolen from an old professor of mine for fun. Nothing malicious, of course. However, that's just a trinket. when it comes to artifacts and the like, I take that a bit more seriously. Given the fact that Simon misused an artifact of sorts, something he wasn't supposed to have, I have some fairly strong opinions of who deserves what.
That makes a lot of sense. Explains
It
a lot.
does. Yeah, it does, and I would like to apologize for any mistaken greed when you and I first met. I understand that Iron Fang is very significant to you, and my intention was to take it back and deliver it to someone more deserving than a group of cultists.
I was gonna say, more deserving than Tyr himself?
Again, before I met you, I'm sure if Tyr really wanted it, he could have come and gotten it at any time.
Oh, yeah. Well, what other kinds of rare artifacts have you, how do we say, purveyed?
Purveyed. Well, they're not always as flashy as things like Iron Fang or even Drown. Sometimes it's an old spell book gone missing from a library, an old staff. Uh, in fact, Iron Fang was like my third big hit. Mind you, I say hit, but it doesn't necessarily mean someone has given me the task. Sometimes I just hear gossip, things from the grapevine, associate with certain individuals, and use my dashing charisma to earn their good favor.
Dashing charisma, huh? And, what were the other two besides Iron Fang that were your greatest finds at the hands of your dashing charisma?
Bend your disbelief for a moment. No one ever believes this story. My cat was not one of my greatest finds. I think one of my greatest finds was a goldfish, actually.
What?
Unfortunately, as far as the others, I've been sworn to secrecy. Obviously, I expect monetary rewards for what I attain, but I would use whatever money gained to pay for Simon's needs.
A goldfish? Who paid you for a goldfish?
Tough question to answer. They're very important where I'm from.
So some nobles were missing their prized goldfish and tasked you with reacquiring it, I presume?
You can call it that. They really had an eye out for it.
I've met more than my fair share of nobles, so somehow I'm not surprised.
Remember, right? Way back, I might have heard something about you being married off as a younger hero. Something to do with
Well,
nobles.
she looks uncomfortable once more. I'm pretty sure that was the intention. Like I said, got older, became something more of a prize. Uh, Everyone in the city wanted to be our friends. They were all vying for my hand in marriage from the time I could talk. Everyone wanted to join their bloodlines with one of an ASMR. I spent my childhood being paraded around from ball to ball, party to party, my family being invited to private house dinners left and right. Everyone wanted to see and meet and be friends with the ASMR child. Wanted to be friends with us, and my parents were happy to oblige. I love my parents, and I know they loved me. But again, the more I grew, the more our popularity grew, and the more infatuated they became with their new lifestyle. It's better than being poor. At some point, they started looking at me like less like their daughter and more like some figurehead, some doll to be shown off. By my teens, I knew my only purpose in life at that point was to be married off for political gain and riches. I was not very agreeable to this arrangement.
Well, I couldn't imagine any sane person would be. Free will's a bit of a big deal, right? Can't be your own person. Arranged marriages just sounds messy.
Exactly. I wanted to break free of that cage. Tat Tadriel saved me from that. She gave me another path, another purpose. It was through her that I came to. And she kind of trails off, looking at Tyr, sadly.
See. Well, I can't say I've ever met anyone, at least very few people, more devout than you are.
When she looks back at Torn, she looks a lot like really intense, almost a fire in her eyes. Tyr gave me a second chance at life, the opportunity to make a difference. I was so grateful. How could I not dedicate my life to him? I was so afraid of being just the pretty face everyone thought I was, with my only worth being my angelic blood. I nearly killed myself training so hard, but it paid off. Tyr took a special interest in me. It took me a bit to realize, but at some point he actually possessed my instructor to train me personally. He gave me my first halberd, training me in its expertise. Told me I was one of the most talented squires he'd ever seen. He saw so much potential in me. He even had me study threats from beyond our own plane. When it came time for me to take my oath, I took the oath of the Watchers. Because Tyr entrusted me with protecting the people of our world, not just from the threats within, but also from threats beyond this world. I don't even know when I realized he wasn't my original instructor anymore. For the longest time there, I just thought his eyes looked weird because of his allergy season.
Was that a joke?
I'm serious! I had no idea. Just when he came to training and his eyes were gold, and I went to myself, hey, that's weird.
Weird indeed. Well, it's obvious, to me at least. You have a very, very special relationship with Tyr. One that I'm sure most followers of Tyr would be jealous of. Hell's even right now, sitting next to Tyr, touching him.
I never really thought about it. I like to think he keeps a close relationship with all of his followers.
At this point, you kind of hear a in the back of your head, Hira.
At that, Hira's demeanor and face will drastically change and darken for a moment before she attempts to shake it off.
Is it like, Hera, having someone in your head?
What?
Well, it's kind of obvious, to me at least, that Tadriel still has some modicum of influence over you.
Hira's face kind of darkens again, and she takes a little bit before answering. I spent so long with Tyr, Tadriel's voices with full access to my head, guiding me, directing me, and I was so used to it. I forgot what it was like to be alone in my thoughts, but it never bothered me. And then, when they suddenly went silent, it was awful. I wanted them back so bad, the comfort of their voices. But now, Tadriel's still there. Honestly, I don't think she ever left. But she doesn't feel comfortable anymore. She feels alien, invasive, and I hate that she has such free access to me, to my movements, to my thoughts.
Perhaps we can use that to our advantage. As unfortunate as it is to have her still with you in some way, always listening,
I don't see how that's possible.
I just like to put this out there. I am fairly certain that when we were getting our asses handed to us, fighting Tadriel, I'm sure she was getting her, well, ass handed to her, not as equally.
What makes you think that?
The fact that she ran away. In all likelihood, she's afraid. And she should be.
I think we barely landed a single blow on her. She had better things to do than play with us. We were nothing to her, not even worth her time. The only reason we found her in that cavern is because she wanted us to.
Suppose that's the realist way to look at it. I like my version better.
I do too.
If I'm wrong, and that hardly happens, she'll be afraid of us in due time.
Well, I admire your optimism.
You'd think I'd be a bit more upset, given the state of things. But Simon's here. He's safe. We're all safe.
I wish I was as strong as you.
Well, Hira, strength doesn't come from being an individual. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for Simon, or you, or any of the others downstairs.
Hmm. I'm definitely not the same person I once was before I joined this party. You've all changed me in so many ways. And I could have said that even before the battle in the cavern and finding Tyr. As much as the absence of his voice terrified and tortured me, I've come to realize that may have actually been healthy. I think I may have even become stronger for it in the long run, even if it doesn't feel that way now. She's looking at Tyr again.
That's a good way to look at it. All change is growth, and growth is good.
Unless it's a tumor.
No, all change is good. Change is growth. Growth is good, unless it's a tumor. Fair enough.
What would you say to Simon right now, if he could hear you?
You know the honest answer?
Yeah?
I'd probably call him an idiot.
It's not his fault he's here.
It's not his fault, but it's difficult.
I'm really sorry.
You need to stop apologizing.
I don't know what else to do. I should have known. I should have seen. I knew something was wrong, but I trusted her so much. When she said everything was fine, I believed her. Like a good little soldier. So stupid, so blind.
Yeah, I mean, I could give you the whole hindsight is 2020 spiel, but we know. Just thinking about that, it's not your fault. There's no blame or ill will on my part. It's just circumstance.
She actually looks a little close to tears as she turns her face away. And she says, I just don't understand.
At this point, those of you downstairs that have been watching and eating or continuing their breakfast, you see Lathander kind of just excuse himself silently and begin walking upstairs. And after a few silent moments, he walks into the medical room with the four of you. Well, as much as I hate to separate you from your family matters, there is much to do. I assure you we will take as best care of them as we can. But if you will, please make your way downstairs and get ready for a rebirth, if you will.
Hmm. Quickly, Lathander, I did have a question, if you would humor me.
Yes.
I'll take a look around the medical chamber and walking outside the hallway, the stairs, everything. Uh, why aren't we dead?
Hira kind of looks up curiously.
He kind of smiles and chuckles a little bit, and it's like, well, you know, us of the divine typically don't like to meddle too much. My brother Tia is a little bit more hands-on when it comes to mortal affairs, and some of my brothers and sisters are a little bit less. I, on the other hand, prefer to just watch. Think of it as a soap opera. Nice play. And sometimes you just don't want plays to end so abruptly.
I see.
Hira looks disturbed and a little upset. So we're just playthings to you.
No.
Special interests.
Special interest is a good way to say it.
And what about everybody else out there suffering?
Welcome.
As I said before, we necessarily don't like to get our hands dirty, but we can send others. I mean, great example. You do have one of the oddest orphanage keepers downstairs. I, in my many eons, have never seen anything of the sort.
Well-
He is an oddity.
Well, this is a special case.
Oh, he is?
Very.
Well, please, just kind of gesture or stepping aside and gesturing off down the hallway. He leads you back down the stairs, but as you guys kind of enter into the bottom floor with the rest of your party, he is no longer behind you. You do hear the footsteps kind of going up towards the main throne room.
Oh,
Hira kind of looks around, not knowing what to do with herself.
did I underdress?
I was just about to ask, what's the dress code for this?
For breakfast?
No, we're in the
Yeah.
throne room.
No,
Are we
you guys are
starting the
downstairs.
ceremony? Like, are we starting the ceremony right now, or are we all still like convened in the I guess dining area you would call it?
Yeah, the two of them have made their way back down into the dining areas where I would assume in the meantime some of you would have finished breakfast and started, just you don't have there's no or the time that you did spend with Lathander, he didn't really say anything about any a particular dress code. He just basically hinted at getting cleaned up, tending to some left open wounds, cleaning up the clothes if possible. And as you guys kind of make your way throughout the chambers, you do find nearly identical clothing to what you were wearing, just newer.
After bathing and whatnot, Wub is actually going to put on his three-piece maroon suit.
Oh,
He has that with him. Did Lathander teleport all their belongings here?
not all.
Whoever was on us.
Yeah, and not whatever was on you, and apparently Wub carries his three-piece suit with him. Nice.
Well, then after, freshening up and taking a bath and stuff, Hira would probably put on her magical armor dress that she got from Nimbus for Christmas.
It's about time, man. What does
I'll
that
outfit
do again?
myself as normal.
So, please describe what that looks like.
It's a long golden gown. Calm yourself, boys. That hugs every curve.
Nice.
It actually doesn't show a lot of skin. It's skin tight, but it covers.
Ooh.
Doesn't have
It's got
to.
some, like it's got like
Right.
the regular like kind of like what do you call it, the
Well, we know it's
neck,
armor, but
and then
everyone
but then
else
the
thinks
rest of
it's
it up to
beautiful
her
armor.
neck and then all the way down her arms is man, what do you call it, like sheer
Sheer lace.
yeah, like sheer lace fabric, so it's like see through, and it's like embossed with like golden decorations and intricate designs both on the dress itself and on the sheer lace. So
But even
it
I,
cover
as
it
Black
cover
Belt,
it
have
covers
no clue
everything
how to
so that
make
she's
that work as armor.
because it operates as armor, but
I
it's
know,
still, you
I
know,
know. I'm just joking.
it's very pretty and elegant, and it has a
I'm
slit
sure
up. It has a
It's the
slit up.
it's the microweaves. Yes.
It has a slit up one side.
But see, the thing is it doesn't have to show skin to be sexy.
Well,
Nimbus has
I don't know
very
if
good
I'd-
taste. I'll say that.
Damn.
I don't know if
fucking
I'd be
right,
comfortable with
he
that
does.
slit up the side.
Well, the slit up the side
It
is to
has to
help
be
her.
able to move though
Yeah,
for
with
a dress.
mobility.
Keep your shield on that side. Get one if you don't have one. Boris advice.
and so we've got Wub and Hira. Is anyone else gonna try to, or what is everyone else doing?
I am freshening up clothes. Lathander said that there were newer clothes of mine, like a newer,
It's
fresher.
it's nearly
A fresher
identical.
version?
Yeah, it's nearly identical. Like there's a few small things that you probably would change on it, but it's around the
Like
style that you're
Like
wearing.
Boris would very. I appreciate that very much. Boris has taken off his ragged leather pants that have worn their way through many battles under his armor.
The Drum's not
Told
going to
you,
get the memo, and he's going to come out how he normally looks. He's wearing the glimmering armor, though, so.
Okay,
then full suit of Boris armor.
nice. Zuya Nimbus.
Zuya doesn't really need new fresh clothing because he doesn't really wear through his because he's a bear, but he will take the fresh clothing as offered because it's rebirth time. So he will freshen up and renew his clothing.
What you're saying is you're going to wear your rebirthday suit?
Yes, my rebirthday suit.
And Nimbus.
Like peaked, no audio.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
I would assume as moist as usual.
Yeah, he's wearing a suit of water.
Ugh.
It's like the same color as the Dumb and Dumber suit, like the blue,
Oh
sky
god.
blue one, except it's all made of water.
Oh, there goes.
Oh no, we lost somebody.
Yeah,
Nimbos.
Grave. Probably because it wasn't responding.
Hi,
Hello?
Grave.
Oh,
There we go.
Hello?
Now we can hear you.
very nice.
Okay.
So he bags his new clothes.
Oh, did
Uh-oh.
we lose him
Lost her
again?
again.
Where's the internet?
Yeah, we lost you. Can't hear you, Nimbus.
If it was a divine connection, it'd be spotless.
Aha. Welcome back? Question mark.
It's gonna work for 2 seconds. He's dressed like a prince. That's
Yes. Quickly.
A
Perfect.
wet prince.
it. No a moist prince.
Wet Prince of Bel Air.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I
It's
had
got
to.
like the water designs all over it. It's very nice.
So once you guys are all dressed and ready, another kind of spectral suit of armor will make its way downstairs and escort you upstairs. And as you begin getting closer and closer to the top of the stairs and into the actual throne room chambers, all of you begin to hear just a slight murmuring of like 5 different voices. And standing amongst, in a small little crowd amongst Lathander, you see a grayish-skinned elderly man kind of dressed in a heavy suit of armor with different or with several skulls kind of draped around his neck in almost like a necklace fashion. Another person that you see is kind of almost bluish in tint to their skin tone, with this almost like or almost like wooden armor that or a wooden breastplate with almost like moss growing up all around it. You also see another almost older looking gentleman with this long flowing white beard and his white hair slicked back, wearing this almost or like very fluffy, poofy, regal looking clothing, with a long reddish cloak draped over his back, and a staff that he's holding to his side that's actually a couple inches taller than him. And then finally is a darker skinned woman with long flowing white hair. And as the 7 of you enter and walk forward, the 5 of them turn and then stand in almost like a one behind the other, fanning out in a large V with Lathander up in the front. And he gestures for all of you to come forth and stand in front of him.
Say no to that. Well, step up.
And if you guys want, you're more than welcome to make me some religion checks or history checks to see if you can glean who some of these people are.
I know all of them. I read a book.
What is here?
I read a book at breakfast. I'm like, hey, I know all these people.
I got an idea. Why is I the only one that knows history?
I definitely know what's going on. Both of mine were a +2, so I kind of flipped an imaginary coin, and I got religion.
I know nothing.
You guys need to brush up on your history, damn it.
Hira knows what's up.
So
just for shits and gigs, I should have gone with fucking history. I hate my life.
Oh, well,
this place is a prison.
Don't tell me what to do, Dad.
Lathander kind of looks amongst the 7 of you, kind of going back and forth, just like, oh, you guys are an interesting bunch, and well, anyway, to give you an idea, so Wub and Zuya, some of these people, you obviously know Lathander, and although maybe not, but as you look across the 5 that are standing in front of you, there's no recollection of who these people are. Adram, you've heard of them you've heard of them before. You just haven't seen them in the flesh, essentially. But you do know the names of 3 of them. Torin, with your check, you would mainly know of this tall woman, or the woman standing off to the side. But again, you don't know. or you haven't seen her in the flesh. You've only seen like rough depictions of her. Boris, you immediately recognize the one in blackish armor. And Hira, as though, or you've kind of seen or heard of some of these people, but again, never seen them in the flesh. As you guys are kind of looking across the 5 people standing in front of you, Lathander will step forward and gesture out in front of him once again and say, Adram, please, step forward. And as he says that, a small golden circle is going to open up underneath your feet once you get like 15 feet of in front. And as you step into the circle, Lathander's going to kind of outstretch his arms. It's like, well, I do believe, or I'm not going to speak for my companions, my brothers and sisters behind me. However, we all have come to an agreement that there is a lot more going on in the world of Faerun that we, unfortunately, are not able to handle ourselves. As you've seen with my brother Tia downstairs, there is a lot of things that is there's a lot going on down on your plane. And the 5 of us got together and decided that we wanted to humbly ask you for your help. And in exchange, we would like to offer some blessings of sorts.
Drum's gonna look at each of them and then kind of look back at the group and then kind of bow his head.
Hira looks noticeably put out. For obvious reasons.
We're trying our best. And like kind of noticing that look on your face here, Lathander will turn to you and it's like, we're definitely trying to figure out anything that we can. And the woman behind him steps forward and says, well, none of us have heard of anything like this before, but we honestly don't have much else to offer. We're all stumped at this.
He's still in there. I can reach him if I touch him.
We've seen the same thing that you've seen. I believe he's reliving one of his most grievous of wars that he fought, and we know that we can get him back. It's just how we don't. And that's where we want to request your help. Lathander takes over at that point again. And for the first of this blessing, I would like to offer, I think all of us have come to an agreement that would like to offer a drum a chance to live free again of his own volition. And with a wave of his hand, you will see that aura or that circle around a drum will kind of basically engulf him. And a drum, you feel the warmth in your stomach, almost as if you drank an entire bottle of whiskey by yourself. It spreads all the way throughout your body, or all the way throughout your body. And once it gets to your fingertips, you almost feel like you'd been sleeping on your hands for a while, a very long while. And you take a deep breath in, and the smells of, you smell blue. Everything, or where you had smelt the meal below before, it hits a little different. You get a lot more vibrant scents. The colors around you are a lot more vibrant. And Lathander continues, like, with this, with the renewal of your soul, I would also like to extend you the opportunity to join my order. I want you to become one of my followers. Will you take up this charge, Etron?
Drob's gonna kneel. He's gonna say, "Yes, I will."
Well, with the I'm just going to get rid of this so that way whenever we keep dropping, we're not going to have any issues. There we go. Well, with the combined powers and the combined judgment of my brothers and sisters behind me, we now respectfully welcome you to our order. Please do take the lessons you've learned thus far to heart. And please restore order to that wild world of which you live.
I will.
Stepping back, Lathander's going to give room to the rest of the other four, and all of them don't really say much, but they all nod in acknowledgement of the seven of you. With that, in a brief pause, Lathander's gonna gesture back towards the stairwell, and, well, we appreciate all of you taking part in this ceremony, and please give us some time, but consider yourself blessed from the moment that, or consider yourself one of a member of my army against whatever is working against this world.
The drum is going to turn around, and his armor is going to change into this regal-looking golden white thing with Lathander's symbol on the front of it. He's going to be smiling, which you guys haven't really seen like ever.
Hira's smiling really, really widely back at him.
Like smiling, like, have you ever seen like a kid that just did like a performance, even though they know it's bad and the parents know it's bad, but like, look, Mom, I did it, type of smile.
Didn't say anything.
I see Torn was giving him the thumbs up. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, as the seven of you, not sure.
Crowler said his internet crapped out.
Yeah, I just saw that on my chat, which at least you'll be able to see it through here. But as you guys begin to make your way down the stairwell, instead of going down the familiar stairs the stairs that you've become familiar with, these white marble, or this white marble hallway, After a few 100 steps, it transitions into this dark hallway, and light seems to vanish completely. And as the 7 of you proceed into that darkness, it almost feels like your consciousness fades.
Oh.
In a mere moment, what feels like a mere moment later, all of you reawaken to a familiar sound of hustle and bustle outside in city streets. And let me get this adjusted real quick. The soft candlelight of familiar rooms at the Swinging Sword Inn. Now, Torin,
Sir.
waking up in your bed, you realize that it's still kind of early in the morning. And you notice a presence next to you.
Yes.
Fearfully, I'm going to turn my head and nothing else to see if I can find the source of the presence.
So you turn your head to the left.
Okay.
And you notice a figure laying on the bed next to you. Her long, silverish hair kind of tied into a nice bun, and her deep brown eyes staring back at you. And the moment you make eye contact, there's a brief moment of like pause and recollection, and she darts up, like sits up in the bed, and then just slaps you across the face.
Ugh.
And after another brief, like holding your breath moment, you find, or she kind of pulls her hands back and covers her mouth and like, Torin? What?
Yeah?
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I did not mean... What are you doing? Where did you go?
Well, first off, I'm in my bed.
Well, yes.
Second off, long story.
Oh, I see. So you just disappeared for a little over a month and you don't think anyone would worry about you?
Month?
Yes. The last time I saw you was right in the time of the winter solstice. That was a little over a month ago.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
She kind of holds out a very crudely drawn newspaper, and you read up at the top. It says, the 2nd of Alturiak.
Oh.
And it's nearly 12 in the morning now, so... Yeah, this is a day behind.
There will
And-
be plenty of time for us to explain what happened. And I would like to head into the hallway to see if I can start waking people up.
So, as you get up and dress, or
What time?
and start walking into the hallway,
Are we still in our fancy clothes?
Torin's butt naked.
yes, you are still in your fancy clothes. You are halted at the doorway as her arms wrap around your waist, and you know she's a little bit shorter than you, so her head is kind of resting on your shoulder blade, and she's just whispers in a very faint voice, "Just tell me next time you're gonna leave for a long time, please. I know you don't want anybody to care about you, but I do." And then she'll release you. Leave. and then go back into your bed.
Gently caresses and
Can do.
misses your junk.
Huh.
Torrin's like, maybe I can wait waking everyone up.
And yes, Kaylee,
Okay, now
this
you
is
gotta RP this shit out. Come on now.
Yeah, I open the door and walk outside.
Aw. If Torrin didn't have such intellect and he had higher wisdom, he would get back in that bed. He's too smart for his own good.
He's too intelligent, not enough wisdom.
Don't have enough charisma for this shit.
I don't think you need the charisma. She's waiting, buddy.
But yes, you
I'll let her know. Will do.
let me get to the map. Aw, it didn't change. Why didn't it change, you piece of shit? Thank you.
Hey, Shaq. We're back.
Yes, Torrin has major issues with intimacy.
Is this your way of RPing out your real feelings for Eric?
You shut up!
Mooches.
Yes, but is this Eric having issues with showing his feelings for Kyle? That's the real question.
I don't think
Well,
so.
her name does
Yeah, we got no
does
problems
have
with
Kyle's
that.
name pretty much in it.
You shut up!
Kylessa?
I didn't intend for that.
Kylessa hugs Torrin from behind and her scratchy beard.
Her bald head. I mean,
I'm-
her sketchy. Her manly. Oh no.
I caress her lack of flowing locks.
she kisses his feet.
We're done. It's over. No more.
She's just shorter
Murdered
than
it.
him.
I'm back alive.
Yay!
Welcome
Crowler's back.
Torrin
Well,
can't remember
you-
whose
you
room is
missed-
whose, so I'm just gonna knock on all of them, or at least the first one I can get to.
You're gonna
All
run
right,
down the
so-
hallway like those kids movies, knocking on each one.
I got a lot going on up here.
And
got-
down
You
there,
just
you
got
know what I
molested
mean?
in bed.
Just
Got a
say,
lot going down there too, you know what I mean?
yeah, let's say he's got a dagger he wants to give away.
Yeah, see, I'm not gonna lie, that was like hella funny, but because I was watching it like through Twitch, I'm just sitting here like imagining like in an anime when you see like the scary girl in the closet, like, I'm gonna make him love me. He'll always be mine. And it's just like, ooh, is she the good guy? Is
I
she really
almost
a good
wanted to
person?
Misty Step out of the bed or shield the slap, but
Right? Like,
I think it worked out
bro.
much better this way.
You Misty step into the closet and there's a bubblegum effigy made of you.
The first
Like-
question you should be asking Torrin is, why was she in your bed?
Like, it was just subtle flirting
Questions
and
for
whatnot
later.
at first, which was hella funny. And then, like, this is just like, what the?
Torrin has a stage 5 clinger.
She's gone up to stage 7, man. I'm wearing your
Oh,
clothes.
for sure. This is almost a 10.
So, the first two doors that you're able to get to is you would remember that it is Zuya and Adram's room, and then Boris and Hira, and then Wub and Nimbus. And as you make your way through down the hall, you already hear the faint sound of like sheets stirring inside of Boris's room, so for you, Boris, specifically, you are very used to having night terrors. However, the unsettling evening that you're awakening into, the unsettling part is the fact that you are not having any night terrors. You've lied awake for an hour at most at this point, waiting for the things that haunt you in the night to come, and they don't. And you'd slowly drift off to sleep easily, with no horrendous nightmares and you're suddenly awakened by a quick knock on your door. And as for all of you, you hear the sound of single footsteps coming down the hallway and knocking 6 different times on different doors. And just for the fun of it, You're welcome to make me perception checks to see if you'll wake up, or you can just tell me if you wake up.
Hera would definitely wake up. She's a very light sleeper for obvious reasons. But she's gonna kind of sit up quickly, kind of look up around the room, very disoriented. Just kind of take a couple minutes
Would I actually be
try and
here or at my
remember-
orphanage?
to try and remember what's going on.
For the sake of brevity, you were put here. Yes.
Okay. I was just wondering if I should RP that or if that was a mistake. Good to know.
Yeah.
Cool.
For the sake of that, I did place you here. And yes, as Hira kind of wakes up, you hear the sound of a drum snoring in the room next to you. I assume Zuya was already kind of awake and meditating, so you kind of would have heard
yeah.
Make me a
Were we
perception
drinking
check.
before we got like roofied?
No.
Okay. Just because then I would definitely have to perception check because Wub's a fucking lightweight.
So, with you being so close, Zuya, you did hear the sound of like a slight conversation before the opening. You couldn't really hear what the conversation was about. You just heard two voices. Before you heard a door open and then a knock on the door across the hall from yours and then a knock on your door.
Yeah, I figure it would have started with the slap and then the conversation. I figure with my resistance to magic putting me to sleep, and then not needing as much sleep, I would have been not as easily sleepy. Is what I figure. But it's godlike sleepy power, so
Yeah, so you were kind of lulled a little bit, but you woke easily. And Boris, as you kind of rush to the door, you see Torin kind of walking down the hall in a hurried pace, knocking on all of the doors to your companions.
Boris feels much better knowing that it was just Torin. And I'm gonna go in my room and start getting ready for the day, suiting up.
So, and as you guys are looking out the windows and getting ready, you do notice that the sun still hasn't quite come up yet. It's very early in the morning. And as, for the sake of brevity, as all of you kind of get ready and get together, minus Adram who's still fucking snoring, and you make your way downstairs, there's not much going on. There's only a few people there, and you downstairs in the bottom floor of the Swinging Sword Inn, and most of them seem like these are the kind of people that have either been here for a very long time drinking, or they got off of a shift kind of late, and just now are getting to sit down and relax for a few moments before heading back home. And there's a small young male human standing behind the bar, kind of just cleaning up afterwards, and he's sitting or just walking up and down behind the bar, cleaning it as some of the patrons sitting there at the bar just lift up their glasses and let him mop or clean underneath. And so this is the site that you guys come into. What would you like to do?
Here's just gonna kind of sit down, very disoriented and confused at the table, still not quite sure what the fuck's going on.
This map's supposed to be black.
Our tokens aren't on it yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can't see fuck his shit.
I thought Kyle was really immersing me in my RP, and my eyes are closed.
Yeah, you
Bear,
shouldn't be able to
is that
see
better
shit.
For you? Is that better for you? I was in the middle of typing that when you asked if no one's gonna wake you up.
I had to drag myself onto the map.
Boris is gonna order a pretty
Oh,
stiff,
never mind.
a stiff drink for breakfast.
This looks like a
Oh.
big enough table for all of us.
Wow, look at this.
Like I said in chat, this is my
Nice.
second night sleeping, like, ever.
I get to be in front of the book.
I would eventually
I'm not
arise, though, especially if
sleeping.
Suya got me.
Yeah, so Adram, there is a point
Like,
where you're
drunk. I'm just sleeping.
Yeah, there is a point where you're sleeping pretty heavily, and Zuya, after you get ready and walk out and see the other 4 kind of making their way, or 5 making their way downstairs, you notice that Adram's door is still closed, and testing the handle, it's unlocked. You walk in and you see that Adram is still just passed the hell out. Kind of jumping on him and shaking him awake. You guys take it away.
Yeah,
real quick,
so I
Boris still
literally
can't
do like a nosedive
hear me.
on top of a drum on his bed and yell into his face, "Wake up, it's your birthday. Get out of bed, you sleepyhead."
Trump's wide-eyed, like, dude, everything okay?
Yeah,
Because he
it's
didn't
just
hear anything you just said because he was still asleep, basically.
it's time to get up. I just wanted to make sure you were alive.
Oh yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Clear his
Okay.
throat.
I get off of him and walk down to the stairs.
I'll be right
Lost
down.
rave.
He irons out the wrinkles that are in his armor
Now
stuff
in
that he
your
was
now in
sleeping in.
your new clothes.
I have been given a cone of vision.
I have no vision. And he will make his way downtown, walking fast. Faces
This is
past.
Making
fast.
his way
Home.
downtown.
Wow. Did you really say that?
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Roll initiative now. Never mind, you're dead.
Only if I get to use my big dice.
Power word kill.
Uh
I almost
yeah.
got a mighty 9d20 at the card store today.
Oh my god, I want one. They have wormwood fucking dice trays, like the dice tray that I have. They have.
Oh, they actually came out now?
Yeah, they
Nice.
have this dice tray with the Mighty 9 logo right here, and I
That's
want it so
actually kinda
fucking
cool,
bad.
I'm not gonna lie.
I want it. Eh.
Can you hear us
Aha,
now?
that's
or
a
Did you
19.
drop? Did you drop for a specific reason? Were you having issues?
Just got fucking tired of it, you know what I'm saying?
Did you drop for a specific reason? She said, fuck this.
Fuck y'all, man.
I hate all your guts. I'm dropping, but I'll come back just to tell you I hate you.
No.
Oh, you
My
keep
freaking
disconnecting. Okay.
internet. Yeah, my internet keeps on fucking shitting itself. I'm like, why?
Well, maybe if
Wait,
you
who
weren't
said
so
that?
moisty and dripping over the router, it wouldn't be shorting out.
Do you
Maybe
and
if we could
Crowler live in
actually
the same
see you.
apartment complex?
No.
All that's happening is Crowler and Nimbus are unplugging each other's routers just to get the internet. So Crowler's back, so Nimbus is gone.
Stop taking turns.
Why is
would-
Nimbus and Wub sitting at their own table? They don't want to eat with the rest of us?
Oh, Nimbus is up here.
Yeah, Nimbus
Or,
is up
sorry,
there. That's a drum.
Sorry, a drum and Wub.
I saw
bad.
Wub there. I didn't want it to sit by himself.
Oh, I just haven't moved my guy.
all
My
right.
computer was being a little slow for a second.
I feel
Got you.
uncomfortable
Can
with
my
the
vision not
bear
be a
rug in the
cone?
middle of the dining room. I'm just saying. It makes me feel
Whoops.
very uncomfortable.
What, the here is all up in torn space?
No,
No,
giant
There's
bear
room
rug.
for 4 on this bench.
we can sit.
Did you make? Does that work, Eric? Did that work?
Oh, nothing's changed. Not yet.
I see more
I
of
can
the
still
room
see.
now.
It's just a
I see more of it, but
Maybe
I had an
redrag your
angle.
token out?
Maybe.
it might not be associated with your token.
Sorry.
Bless you many times.
Is that a sneeze or a cough?
That was
It's a
cute.
sneeze. That's
That's
the way he
cute.
sneezes.
Aw, Eric,
better.
you're so cute.
Thanks.
The way you nearly like spit your soul out whenever you sneeze.
Mm-hmm.
There's no light in here anymore. It's not black, but it's not lit up.
Oh,
Whoa.
oops.
There's
It's-
too many bear
it's
rugs
the-
in this room.
It's delicious. Hey, at least those bears ain't go to waste.
I see light.
Here, I'll do it this way.
Of all that fur that could just be left out somewhere else.
Boom.
Woo. There we go.
There's a toy. The table's on fire.
My bad.
Fireball,
Well,
fireball, fireball.
Morning.
I am not a spellcaster.
You look terrible, Boris.
You
Morning.
look terrible. Wow.
Drum, you look well rested.
Do you guys
Morning.
remember
Except when
how
I
we got
jumped on him
here?
and woke him up.
Do you guys remember how we got here?
We were there, and then we were here. That's all I remember.
I don't care how, I care about when.
What is that
What
supposed
do
to
you
mean?
mean when?
Exactly. We were gone a month.
What?
We
We
were
were only got a
gone.
couple of
a month.
days.
That's what I thought.
Does time
Said it
work
was a month.
differently up there?
It must.
How do
That
you
must
know
have
it's
been
been a month?
He was
Mm,
in
He holds
the
up a
room with
newspaper.
someone
I
special.
had a visitor.
read.
A visitor?
Someone was in the room with.
Was it Mitrier?
I wish. No, it was Kalesa.
What, she just opened
That's
the
the
door?
conversation you were having this morning. Then interesting.
She opened the door and just told you it was a month ago? That's odd.
No, she was in my bed.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
Yeah, I
We
woke
were-
up and I was in my bed, and she was also in my bed.
Did we
Well,
get
I
drugged?
heard a noise. I'm not sure what it sounded. I heard a noise. That's all I will say.
And we'll leave it at that.
Seems like I wasn't the only one to get blessed last night.
Wasn't that kind of noise the drum?
Too bad you don't remember it. Do you?
I blacked out in Lathander's and woke up there.
In Kalesa.
Whoa.
But
Okay,
we
well,
were gone for a month.
yeah, let's get back to that.
Well, I suppose
That-
time works differently in a god's realm.
Which is
Doesn't-
dangerous.
I can't say it surprises me. We should try that again if we can help it.
If we can help it.
Yeah,
But that means that while we were gone for a day or two, a month has been passing out here.
that's not good for our cultist friends.
Hira's face darkens.
I'm gonna look at Wubba. Have you
I'm
been to
not
the
saying we should
orphanage yet?
panic.
What?
Oh my god, those poor
Have
hungry
you been to the
orphans.
orphanage yet?
There
You
are
feed
other
your
people taking
kids.
care of the orphans when he's gone.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
Good,
all
good.
do.
I'm glad there's more people.
Yeah, you all do remember that Trush
Yeah, kill her.
and Trush and Gale, mainly Trush, has kind of taken up permanent residence in the orphanage and was taking care of it while Wub was gone.
Yeah, I wasn't saying they were
Mhm.
by themselves, but a month
You
is
should-
gone.
We should probably let him know you're not dead. I'm sure that's what a lot of people thought.
Oh God, what about our hippogriffs?
We can expect to see a lot of surprised faces, I'm sure.
Yeah, but who knows how much more of a hold the cultists have on this world now.
Which is why I was going to say, don't panic. We can still gather information. I'm sure that whenever more people filter in, or even Kalesa makes her way down here, we can ask her some questions. Maybe she knows something. Or
So, at this kind of lull in the conversation, that small small boy is going to make his way around the counter, realizing that you guys are not the usual drunkards, and you're sitting down at the table in the corner, and he's going to hurried at a hurried pace, run up to you and stand at in between Boris and Zuya at the edge of the table, and just like, I'm so sorry. I did not even notice that you lot came in. Is there anything I could get you? We kind of only have leftovers at the moment, with it being such an odd hour, and
Wait, what time is it?
he's gonna check his arm and it's like, wait, what? Probably about 1 in the morning.
AM?
Yes.
Do they have AM and PM?
AM is when the sun's out, and
Overthinking it,
PM is
overthinking
when
it.
the moon's out. That's all I know.
That sounds backwards.
It's a very apt description.
That sounds very
waking it all
backwards.
up.
So we get 1 p.m.
Kira's gonna abruptly get up and walk to the nearest window and look outside.
So the way where your table is, well, you don't even have to get up because like that all
There's
those
a big window right behind me.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
big window right
There's a big
behind
window
it.
behind the three of us.
Yeah. And staring out at you do see
Well, she's gonna stand up to get a better look outside. Then
I mean, just leaning over, you'll see right over Wub, who's like kind of like
Yeah.
the table's here, and you see his like eyes above it.
his ears.
Yeah,
I'm
and his ears.
sitting on the stool. Damn it.
Oh, sorry, Wub. So you see his nose and his eyes and his ears.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
really
at
need to
least
get
at
you a
like chin
booster
height
seat.
with it. Damn it. Hey.
He's chewing on the table.
Watch
Nom,
it.
I have no
nom,
special
nom, nom.
chair that they used to keep around for him.
Kyle, the boys next
Yeah,
to
hate
me.
it.
it's the
The boys-
It's too
high
tall. I
Murder-
don't need it. I'm too
He
tall.
walked-
Yeah,
He walked in.
yeah. The murder face or the? Oh, yeah, he's standing next to
Yeah,
you.
I'm like, okay, yeah. I was gonna grab him by the shoulder and take a knee and get like right up in his face and be like, "Hey, my boy, my Manicore, my boy, Murderface. He stays here a lot. Do you know him? Where is he?
That big, terrible, scary thing that used to come around. I haven't seen him in about a month.
He did.
See him in a month.
Torn, where did you say Cluster was?
If you want to make an insight check on him, you can.
My room.
I feel like Nimbus is lounging on those barrels next to us.
No, he's probably trying to get people to like get up and start dancing. You know how he is.
One of the
He's
morning
completely
members.
unfazed with the situation.
If you want to try that Nimbus, you can make me a charisma check at disadvantage because everyone here is just plastered effing drunk. Some are not
This
even
is like
conscious.
the bar fly time.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
make 'em-
1 in. Like it's the middle of
Make
the
'em-
damn night. These people are already so far gone.
Make him roll a
I-
performance check.
I assume this is like the type of like small rural town where most bars are closed by like 11 p.m. You know what I'm saying? This is the bar that just doesn't close, so this is where all the drunkards that have nowhere to go are just like, I'm
Or
staying here for the night. I'm gonna get my meal for the day, for the week.
Or
So what you're saying is
just straight
Kalesa's door don't close to nobody.
Oh,
Hey, man.
Lock.
Hey man, I ain't gave it $20.
I'd do it for 5.
But you get a free slap thrown in there too.
Yeah, I got to
Yeah.
slap air. I mean, Torin.
So free.
But
Hmm.
yeah. So, Boris, with your insight,
Hey,
hey, nat
At
20.
disadvantage though.
Oh look!
So
Wait for that one. Damn, it was 14.
okay. All right. So
Damn.
Boris, with your insight, he seems more scared of you than to lie to you. So he has not seen Murderface in a month. As well as kind of adding into it, kind of recognizing the group. He also adds like, I haven't seen any of those birds that you lot use either. So it's been quite a while. Honestly, we all I only take over the evening shift while Kalissa sleeps, and she has not been happy lately.
Sorry.
Everyone looks at Torin.
yeah, it's that awkward silence where we all just look at Torin.
Wub doesn't because he still doesn't understand.
Oh,
He just kind of looks at everybody. Why are we looking at Torin?
What?
What did he do?
Nothing, and that's the problem, Wub.
What?
It's okay, Wub. Don't worry about it.
Don't think too hard on it.
Torin didn't do anything. It's okay.
Well,
You
I
just see
can.
Wub just like staring at the table, pondering how somebody could possibly be in trouble for doing nothing. You know what I mean, like as a little naive person, just truly perplexed by this.
Torn, I think maybe you should go retrieve
Yeah,
Kalessa so she can answer
and
some
bring her down
questions
here.
for us.
The drum's gonna
Try
talk
not
to
to
Wub
take-
as that's
Try not to take too long up there.
happening. Hey Wub, you know how you can summon those bees, and you know how I used to have that bird. Let me tell you about the bird and the bees.
Adram, now's not the time.
Well,
Well, I don't really summon my bees. They're just always here. See? And I just kind of like open
move away.
my like coat, and a bunch of
Serious.
like the wasps come out.
That
Not
boy
at the table,
sit.
Wub.
That the young boy that was kind of under Boris's arm sees them off in the corner of his eye and just begins like freaking the heck out, just like.
I'm telling the kid. I'm close my eyes. I tell the kid to run.
Why
How
are
many
you
Torrens
Torrens?
are on the map?
He.
They're
Oh, yeah.
I was
I
typing it
left
out.
the-
But I better explain.
I'll have to
To
little
better
bubble
explain it.
myself so you guys wouldn't miss me.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Maybe we
And
were gone
what's up?
for 9 months. Is this Torrent's son?
And what's up, Boris? What are you telling the kid?
I was telling him to run because I was sitting there kind of like raging to myself about Murderface being missing.
Stop
Getting
scaring
ready
the
to-
kid. He doesn't know anything.
Yeah, he at that point, whenever you tell him to run, he takes off and L's around the corner, behind the bar, and disappears into the back kitchen, and then hurriedly comes out with like some like haphazard thrown together plates, like two rather large plates of just kind of. It looks like it was almost like or meat that was made during midday and sat out underneath above a like a slow or a kindled fire, and some kind of haphazard boiled vegetables, and he just kind of hurriedly slides them on the table and then just takes off and hides behind the counter in the L of the counter. And anyone kind of like watching him do this, you could see him kind of like poking his eyes up above the counter, just like staring at all of you, just with a little bit of a shake. In Torin, you kind of see this off in your peripheral as you're like walking up the stairs back into your rooms upstairs. And do you knock on the or try to wake up Kalessa?
I'm just gonna barge
She
in. I'm
went
gonna
back to
knock.
sleep in Torrens' room.
I thought you'd never come back.
All of a sudden, it's not my room anymore.
Well, I mean, I guess if we were gone for a month, she may have rented it out to other people.
Herself.
She
You just get the fuck out.
so you
No, she says get in or get out.
you walk in the door, and Kalessa kind of just awakes with a start, but she doesn't immediately like roll over to look at you, but she does kind of just slowly like lift her head up and look at you, and yes.
Why bother you to come downstairs?
Of course.
I know it's really late.
Well, if it's for you, Mary Lot, I think I can spare a few minutes. And she gets up, and you notice, even in the kind of like dim candlelight, she is wearing one of your older shirts.
Level 7.
my.
And she kind of like, she doesn't strike you as the bashful person or type of person, but with you, she doesn't care. She gets up, stands up, and like the shirt barely covers, so like you could see her upper thighs, and you just like pull, or she quickly pulls on some pants and just roughly tucks in the shirt, and kind of fixes her hair just a little bit, and then follows you out. And Boris, the kid, is still looking at you like at the top of the counter, and
Tell me Boris just walks back there and grabs the bottle himself.
well, he brings up a small or a bottle of whiskey, a little bit smaller than what is normally served to you, but he does just quickly like plump it down on the counter. Doesn't tell you how much, doesn't even speak. He's just like,
I'm gonna toss some coins over the counter. Yeah. A good helping of coin. Boris is extra generous because he knows he's being an asshole, but
and at this point, like when you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm throwing a rather large amount of coin at this poor kid, like 10 gold at him, which is probably a lot for a boy of his age.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I know I scared the shit out of him, and I know that I'm about to break every bottle I see until I figure out where Murderface is. And Boris doesn't normally drink like this. It's just missing.
So Kilessa and Torin at this point, like as you toss the gold at him, and go ahead and mark that off your character sheet. And the kid kind of waits to see what you do, and then as you like take the bottle and start to drink it in front of him, he's gonna kind of like perk up just a little bit, like, this bottle is only 5 silver.
There's more to come.
Keep the change. Oh, he's prepaying. I see. He's prepaying.
Oh, so I can open a tab, and then he'll just kind of like scoop it up and put it off to a pouch
There's
in the
more
side.
to come, but I want you to keep the change, boy.
Oh, so he'll like kind of sheepishly like take the rest of the change and just like slide it into his pocket, and just like now he was wide-eyed before, and now he's wide-eyed for like, am I supposed to be scared of him or am I supposed to like him? And at this point, Kalessa and Torin make their way back downstairs. And you guys both see that, or all of you see as she comes down the stairs that she's, just woke up, really ain't dealing with stuff, and she glances over to the boy and Boris, and he's like, she just kind of sighs a little bit and just, Boris, don't scare the lad, please. It's so
late for that.
I took care of it. He's been well taken care of. Apologized in advance. Sorry in advance already. Where's Murderface?
You mean the manticore that you befriended?
Yes.
That
my
he
boy.
raised.
my boy.
Well, I'm not 100% sure. He came back a few days after you all left and nearly destroyed a few pieces of my furniture looking for you. And when I tried to soothe him, he almost ate my other bartender.
Oh.
And then
I guess he
left.
was just the set. Oh.
Do you remember which direction he ran off in?
It looked like he flew to the Desarian, or into the Sumbering Valley. But forgive me if I didn't follow him all the way. Because there's a lot.
It's better than nothing.
Do you know where our griffins are? I imagine they returned back to the tower.
Yeah, I did not see them come back.
Hera looks visibly sad. She's like, Freya.
And at this point, Kalessa is going to kind of pull 2 of the chairs off from one of the adjacent table to the north or above you guys, and one of them, and offer them to Nimbus so he's not sitting on the barrels, and just kind of chuckle, and it's like, please, I have to sell that, and it sells a lot better when the barrels are not damp. And then sits down next to Nimbus.
Moist.
You mean next to between Torin and Nimbus?
Yes. and she kind of looks down at the looks at the lot of you around the table, and well, I was strangely awakened by someone I never thought I was going to see again, and then all of you are here again.
What's been going on in the last month?
Quite a lot, honestly.
Please fill us in.
Well, there was a strange wildfire in Yatar. The town to the south experienced, and all over the Dasarian Valley has been hit with many tornadoes. And actually, we had one come through here. I'm surprised our establishment was as built as well as it was, because we did lose a few shingles, but not we didn't have any loss. And where some of the homes in the southern road were destroyed, she'll glance over at Wub and like, your orphanage is fine though. Strangely, even though it seemed to be almost of the epicenter. In fact, some of the
my kids.
I was just gonna think that, or just say that, because it seemed like some of the some of the townsfolk around your orphanage took shelter there. So I believe some of our townspeople are rather thankful that you've moved in.
We'd see Wub just take a lot of smug satisfaction in that.
Well, yeah, I did not expect to see you lot here. But welcome back, I guess. What happened? Did you find she's gonna make a quick glance at Torin, but then look back at Hira and a drum. Like, did you find a better inn in town? Was there, or was it just a longer adventure that you had planned?
It's a bit of a long story.
Well, she kind of glances out the window behind Wub and Adraman, like, I don't have to take over the bar for several hours, and I'm rather awake now. I'm all ears. If you please, catch me up, I'll catch you up. I'm just confused. I thought I wasn't gonna see you lot again.
Here, we'll let somebody else catch her up. She doesn't look like she wants to talk about it. Kalissa can probably notice a very visible change in Hira, but may not feel comfortable enough to ask. Yeah, very opposite changes.
Yeah, she is gonna kind of, as she is saying this, she's looking back and forth between the two of you and just like putting the pieces together. And you're sad now. You're happy now. What in the world is happening?
Let's
So,
say, oh, go ahead.
About a month ago, now that we know, we left because a colleague of mine alerted us to a disturbance over in Black Mob Bog. So we followed it up, and it went about 2-3 days. We made it there and in underneath the bog. Does that sound right to everyone?
Yeah.
Where we found some people very close to us. And there was a confrontation between these people, and we weren't gone for more than a week maximum.
She's gonna look really confused when you say that.
As confused as we are. I think we were on a different plane of existence for a few days.
And now she's even more confused.
Yeah. Yeah. Strange happenings in the world today. I'm not crazy. Zuya, Wub, Mihira, Nadran. Boris, they can all say the same thing, yeah?
Yeah,
You're making me look crazy.
He speaks his truth.
Looking around at all of you, she's gonna kind of like put her hands on the table and lean back a little bit, almost as like kind of just absorbing what all of you are saying. Just, I have never heard of a group such as yours.
We are very, very, very unique.
Well, I guess the best I could say is you could, as I assume you noticed, your rooms are still yours. I'm.
For the most part, it seems.
She's gonna kind of blush at that a little bit, and I did think that you were gone, and
But not dead. You didn't rent our rooms out to anybody else.
I was waiting for at least some slight confirmation before I just assumed. Forgive a girl for wishful thinking. But even as hopeful as I was, I had to. We all have ways of coping.
Bow wow.
What is that noise you are making?
What?
And kind of looking down at the table and the awful food that has been presented to you guys, like, well, I can go make you better food if you would like. We can. I mean, I'll be here if you have any more questions, but just tread lightly through town because I don't think anyone was expecting to see you. She'll glance over at Wub again and she's like, I'll have you. Well, I feel as if Trush would want you to know that he's stopped by several times to see if you've been through Wub. And he did look a little distraught when the month passed and I hadn't even seen you.
I should pay him a visit.
That would be that would be nice. I think that would put him at ease. And at this point, she's going to kind of excuse herself from the table. And as she's walking, like, she'll kind of glance back and stare for a second and then shake it off and then walk back into the kitchen. You hear the sound of the fire roaring up, and some pans being pulled down from shelves and being put under the fire to and some new sizzling sounds after a few minutes, and she'll walk back out from underneath or from the kitchen and pour several glasses of a very dark ale, one that you haven't seen in this tavern before, and she'll bring the 7 glasses out, and also Mr. Trush has taken apparently a course in entrepreneurship. He decided to make a brewery. So, be my taste testers. I'm serving this ale in my inn. I need to know how it tastes. And she'll serve you the drinks as she walks back and continues cooking, leaving the six of you with
Character side of me is super excited. The player side wonders where the hell he got the labor force.
Oh no.
leaving the six of you at the table with Zuya having gone upstairs. Which, what are you doing up there, sir?
Gonna write a message to the council
Okay.
about because obviously I've been gone a while and haven't sent them a message. I'm gonna let them know what's going on.
Okay. So, roll me a animal handling check with advantage to see if you can kind of like, once you get everything written, poke your head out the window and get you a bird to come over.
Oh Jesus!
It's 1 a.m.
It takes
Yeah,
a second.
one.
It does take a second, but you're able to get one. And it's almost like as this owl begins flying towards you, it doesn't slow down as it begins approaching the window and then smacks head first into the window. But landing on the lip underneath it, it kind of like shakes itself off and then perches itself on the windowsill.
It's like the Weasley owl.
Thank you.
Right?
But after quickly writing this note, and you're more than welcome to. Is it pertaining to anything similar to what we discussed earlier, or is this going to be a different note?
This is just because we've been gone so long and finding out about the wildfires and everything. Just because I found out that I've been gone a month and want them to know about Tyr's situation and Simon's situation and stuff like that.
Okay, so you're able to quickly pin that note and strap it or to one of the claws of the owl, and you kind of give it a general push in the direction of where you want it to go, and it flies off kind of haphazardly, but it seems to be making the direction that you want it to. And what do you do after that?
I go downstairs to join everybody.
Okay, so making your way back downtown stairs.
Really?
I had to.
Making my way back downtown.
You find a tankard and a plate of food sitting where you had been sitting before. And in this little time frame that you had, Kalesa has brought out some new fresh food as well as the ale, and it's sitting in front of you. And she kind of goes back to or behind the bar and it's kind of like minorly coaching the kid how to bartend a little bit more while she's still awake.
It's getting a little rowdy.
And as you do this, Boris, some of the patrons that are around the bar kind of look up to you in a daze, and they're just like, yeah, not even really realizing what you're toasting to. They're just welcoming the opportunity to drink more.
The free drinks, good. That's exactly what I was looking for out of these kind of people.
We need a place to start. We've been gone for a month. We can only get so much information from Red Larch.
Where did Murderface go?
That too.
He's a smart boy. He would go in the right direction.
Well, I'm not sure we're gonna get many answers in the middle of the night. Might want to wait until morning.
True, but just planning things out. Who do we know in the valley? It's Red Larch.
You you guys can, like, if you're needing help with this, you're more than welcome to make me some history checks.
I'll go ahead and roll just for funsies.
Where was that dragon that we met?
Aha. Yeah. Well, I don't think that our dragon associate would know too
Wanted us
much.
back.
Yeah,
but
waking up
know.
the dragon might be a really bad idea.
But I'm just saying, hopefully no one went back there in our absence, you know.
Fingers crossed. But we also have the. I'd hate to go back and talk to them again, but the Feathergale Knights.
Well, I'm assuming
They
that's
do
where
have a
our
hold on people.
I'm assuming that's where our griffins are.
Yeah, I would assume that they
Well,
would
tomorrow morning we can try to call them. They might come.
I think it's going to be a long journey back there.
Also use these. Then I'm going to pull out the stone given to me. I think he gave all of us a stone, actually, Matrier, when we emerged from our fight with Ulhydra. We could potentially ask Archmage Matrier.
Well, both options are long journeys. Which would we like to embark on first?
We should figure out the causes of these wildfires and windstorms that I don't think are natural.
Well, first, I think we should figure out any news we can from the people we know. Figure out what the situation is before we charge into anything.
And don't forget, I can take one person with me on a long journey that will make it much shorter. Because I can fly with somebody.
Take the defined murder phase.
We can rest, make sure everything is in order here in Red Larch, and then we can decide whether or not we teleport to Waterdeep, fly to the Feathergale Spire, hell, anything. Zuya, you're in tune with nature. Is there anything you could do for communication?
Well, that's what I went upstairs for. I sent a letter to council to let them know what is going on. They might have some leads on these goings-ons with the weather. They might have some leads, I don't know. But I let them know what we've just been through. So it's hard to say. We just need to wait back from. They might send something. That's the waiting game. We need to see what our options are. We need to figure out what our actual options are.
Horace he's brought up a good point. I am going to take a very educated guess that these tornadoes and wildfires are the same ones that we've dealt with in the past, meaning more orbs of destruction.
Yes.
That should be pretty obvious.
More heads to take.
Because what are the two, fire and wind are the two groups
the last
left to
elements we haven't
deal
messed
with.
with.
Now they're making. Yeah.
If we can get some more information on that, we can figure out where to go.
Find a lead, figure out which one to snuff out first.
I suppose all there's left to do now is sleep on it.
So if someone wants to make a list of what our options are, of what we need to do, I think that would be a good thing. And then we decide where to start from.
So,
because we do have options.
And looking at it logistically, yeah, you do have the teleportation stones. as well as Zuya is able to transform into a flying creature and may be able to take someone with him in whatever journey. So, I mean, do with that information what you may.
Maybe 2, depending on, because I could take Wub too. But that would be splitting the party.
I feel like we'd be okay to do that. For this.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know what one of the party might run with. I think what we should do is just wait for it to be actually daytime.
Well, yeah.
We can try the
an
Griffins.
option. But that could be going to get the Griffins, though.
We don't know what has transpired in the month that we have been gone.
We could also just travel by foot. We don't need the Griffins.
We can try the Griffins in the morning. If they show up, they show up. If they don't, they don't, and then we can go from there. Deliberating over at 1:30 in the morning is probably not going to help anyone.
That's why I said make a list
I just woke up 3 hours ago.
Yeah, no, I get it.
That's why I say a list of our options is a good thing, so we know what they are.
I feel like we can handle that in the morning. Like Adram said, it's the middle of the night. I'm going to bed.
And I've started scribbling out a list of potential avenues, I suppose.
All right.
I'll just jot down a few, and then I'll agree to sleep.
All right. So we have.
Wait, I thought we did just wake up like 3 hours ago, though. Even though it's like 1:30 here, we like just woke up a couple hours ago, and then the gods sent us
but
here.
I don't want to stay up all night because then we're gonna get tired in the middle of the day.
Yeah, you would that would be a weird time to take in a point of exhaustion during midday. And also looking out of the window, you all do realize that this seems to be the only establishment open at this hour. So any kind of investigation inside of Red Larch or question asking is not.
Exactly.
You can walk the streets. You're more than welcome to walk the streets of Red Larch and kind of just get a view of how the city may have changed in the month that you were gone, but there really won't be anybody besides drunkards out on the streets at this point. So, Hira goes upstairs. Torin follow suit.
I'll finish my list. At least I'll put 4 items on my list and then head upstairs.
Okay.
Bidding the rest of the group good night.
Boris.
Boris is slowly thinking about things and realizing he almost blew up, almost broke some stuff here tonight. Gonna walk away from the bar, go upstairs, very quietly go to his room.
All right, and Kalesa does hand over another bottle for you. It's like, I hope you sleep easy tonight. I do know what it feels like to lose a pet.
I don't know if I'm reading too much into that.
You hear the sound of the bottle break in Boris's hand.
She's gonna kind of glance over the counter and it's like, do you squeeze it hard enough for it to shatter and like pour out all over the ground?
Yeah.
Honey, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. And she'll grab a couple rags and start coming up to try to clean it up. And that leaves Nimbus, Wub, Adram, and Zuya left at the table.
Drom's gonna come up to the back of Boris as he's looking down at the broken wine. I'll slap him on the back like don't worry about it, buddy. If you and I both know that Murderface is a strong, resilient animal.
Smart boy, but
He don't
more
dwell
than
on don't dwell on the what ifs until we find out the truth.
all right.
Rest easy, friend.
I'm going upstairs. Good night.
I follow him up.
And so that leaves Nimbus, Wub, and Zuya. What do the three of you want to do?
I'm gonna wait till everyone goes upstairs and then I'll follow suit.
Okay, Wub.
I'm going to leave to head to my orphanage, but I'm also going to have a look around town.
Sweet, thank you. For letting me know. So, if you'll do me a favor and give me a perception check as you're walking through the town, and for the sake of this, I'll move us to the. Oh no! Roll 20. Quit fucking crashing on me, you piece of shit.
Oh.
All right. That was the wrong one. Are you beelining directly to your orphanage, or are you
No.
kind of making a
No.
wide swath? All right. Which
Direction
direction do you
I actually
want
want to investigate the town, see the damage, see if I can at least get a path of where the carnage was coming from, going to. You know what I mean?
Okay. So that would be a perfect. So I'll also need a survival check for that.
And let me just double check. I don't think my bonus applies to this type of survival.
You've been in this town enough, it can be considered familiar terrain.
Okay. I believe that just... Oh shit, does that double my proficiency?
I believe it does.
Oh no, that's favored terrain. Sorry,
Yeah,
that it
favored-
actually doubles the proficiency.
Yeah, favored
That's
terrain
different.
doubles it. This just gives you advantage.
Okay, yeah. Why is it not giving me the option to do advantage or disadvantage?
It should be like shift
Yeah,
is
fuck.
advantage.
The whole area's on fire.
Wasn't
Oh
me.
God.
You said shift click to just
It's for
roll
me.
advantage?
Mm-hmm.
Usually if I right click, it pulls up the option.
Yeah, it
Cool,
should.
cool.
That was sleight
Okay.
of hand.
Is your modifier the same?
Oh, my bad. No, it's actually higher.
Aha!
He's
Nice.
super shisty and surviving.
So, immediately stepping out
mean,
of the swinging sword
control
end,
click?
you see
Cool.
uh
Control click will do disadvantage. Didn't know that.
right. Immediately walking out of the swinging sword end, you see across the street at the Helmet High Sun, the actual like tavern bar there is rubble. It is no longer there. The houses adjacent to it seem to have taken a similar amount of damage, but the framing walls still stand. And looking down at the ground, you are able to see that there is a large, almost like a groove going through this dirt street. The long road, as you know, it's called, that severely arches and then swings toward or over the Helmet High Sun, and then continues back towards the north eastern part of Red Larch. Noticing this, what do you want to do?
Heading towards the northwest, so it's kind of carving a path up towards this direction.
Northeast.
Northeast, my bad. Over
This
this way.
direction. Yes. And you do see kind of the path carving itself, off to the. It seems like it goes from the southwest back to southeast and then straight south. Almost like it's kind of zigzagging down the long road.
I'm going to go. I'm trying to remember, because the air temple that we went to was north of us, right? So we'll probably be heading in that direction tomorrow. At some point. Then I would check out the southern side first.
All right, so heading back towards the orphanage.
Yes.
So you're able to follow the road or follow the path, and it does kind of zigzag back and forth across the long road. In the parts where it kind of veers deeper into the town, you see that there's like parts of the shingles, parts of the roofing that have been ripped off, and some makeshift tarps have been laid over them, and you see this almost all the way down to the long road until you get to your orphanage, which looks completely unscathed. Even though there is a large arc kind of trail in the ground that arcs and seems like it hits your orphanage and then
like just kind of like pinballed off or something?
Yes.
Nice. Can we do it like kind of like a cliche like archway over the front door now when it has the big ol' what was it, the big ol' sun symbol?
Sure, if you want to build that.
Just for sort of an RP, like, here's what happened.
Yeah, if you want to build onto that or build on your orphanage, feel free to.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering if like it would have been put on there the same way that we got like the sun mark tattoos, or
no, this is not a outward thing.
Yeah, sick, cool. I am happy to see that the orphanage is okay. Does the destruction kind of seem to stop here at the southern edge of town, or
it keeps the swirling path keeps going?
Okay. And this is the direction it came from last time as well. We were just able to stop it barely in time. But at this point, most of the buildings have been repaired and whatnot. The ones that weren't, like, completely destroyed or too seriously damaged, from what you said, right?
There's a little bit of repair going on, you see. Some people have put tarps
not like
over
100% yet.
But yeah,
okay, got you.
It does look like there have been some repairs started.
Okay, destruction moves from south to northwest. Repairs good. I think that hits pretty much all the points I can really get at nighttime. I can't really go too in depth, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to like look through somebody's window. Hey, is your house okay? Is your family safe? Do you feel safe?
Hey, lady, sorry you got no towel on, but are you feeling okay?
1 a.m. Do you know where your kids are?
The best part is Wub's too short, so you can't see him like through the window because it's nighttime. So all you hear is, "Hey, lady."
Oh God!
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
That would be terrifying.
They're for you. What?
So, I would say,
little girl.
But,
Your wife.
With that,
How
I
much
would
for the
pretty
girls?
much I would turn in.
Okay.
Oh, would I be able to collect my monthly payment?
You would have
in my makeshift office.
So, entering the orphanage, it's silent. Looking around.
I wouldn't want to unlock the office then. I don't want to make all that noise.
Yeah, and looking at
Like, wait, God, it's like 2:00 in the morning at this point.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Grave. I'm sorry you don't feel well. But
just feel better, duh.
Yeah, everyone was a little drunk, so yeah, you would probably have you probably would have head upstairs. But
damn you for your method acting.
Please feel better. And get some sleep. But yeah, coming into the orphanage, everyone's asleep. You do see Trush kind of silently cleaning off some of the surfaces in the in the foyer, the main room. And you do see that there's a new addition off to the east of the building, behind 2 double doors, and you do smell the faint sense of hops coming from that area. And as you enter, Trush is gonna kind of like pause in his cleaning and then just stare at you for a moment. Wub.
It's me! And I'm just gonna run up and hug him.
So, for a moment, he's gonna look like he's seen a ghost, but then immediately pick you up into a giant fucking panda bear hug. And you take 1 point of damage as he accidentally squeezes a little too hard, and you hear a couple things pop.
Oops.
Hearing those pops, he's like, "Oh, sorry. What? Where did you go?"
We went and met a god.
What?
I don't know. We were fighting this one guy. He turned into a demon, and then there was this other guy who was like a mountain, and he was making these other little rock guys who were attacking us, and then he shot mud at one of his own little rock guys, and then we killed the mountain, and then I don't know what happened, but we were talking to a god, and we stayed the night at his house. It was really cool, and he gave us food, and then they kind of asked us for our help, and then we just like, poof, we were here. But it was a month later.
He's gonna be kind of playing with the long Fu Manchu mustache that he has as you're telling him this, and like kind of looking up at the ceiling, pondering it, and like, "You killed a mountain?"
Yes, we did. It was so scary, but so cool. He had to be at least this big.
And holding your arms up, you're about like still underneath, like just over the belly of Trush, and he's like,
Yeah.
I
just picture like a father talking to a son, just that big, huh? That's pretty big, son.
That was a big mountain.
Yeah. Sorry. It was so scary. He almost killed us. He almost killed another god.
And at this point, he'll kind of you'll see him kind of reach into his pocket and pull out his normal pipe and just kind of stick it in the side of his mouth, and like the smoke is going to kind of billow out of his nose as he's sitting there pondering, and then he'll snap back and like, "Oh, children," and put it back into his, or tamp it out real quick and put it back into his pocket. Just, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm not really sure if I get it either. It was kind of confusing, but Torin's really smart and he helped.
That party that you've been traveling with seems to be getting into a lot of interesting things. I'm kind of glad I stayed here and opened up the brewery adjacent to your orphanage.
But
I hope
we
you
get
don't
to
mind.
make people safe, and I get to keep my children safe.
They are very safe. Surprisingly, when I'm sure you've heard of the storm that came through. We did. I hope you don't mind, but I allowed several of our townsfolk to take shelter here because it just seemed like, for all the destruction through the town, we seemed safe.
Of course, that's a good thing.
It is. Whoever built this building, and he's going to kind of burp burp up, and you'll smell that hoppy, ale smell.
His own concoction.
And whoever built this building is I've only seen architecture this good back in the homeland. Well,
I wish I knew who did it, but it's a really good building.
maybe Gale could tell you. He's been through a few times, wondering when you would be back for some new jobs. Oh,
I'll have to go visit him.
And as for the payments, I left them up in the chest in your office. I didn't want to make any additions or any changes until I heard back of your well-being. But I did use the monthly stipend to keep things running.
Of course.
Well, I've been dealing with small children all day. I'm gonna go to sleep. And you'll see he'll kind of give you a big pawed pat on the head, and a soft smile, kind of welcoming you back. And then he'll open the door off to the west that you've seen, or that you smell the hops coming from. And there is a 3 massive stills off to the east that you can kind of see through the doorway, and then a kind of a makeshift room off to the southern part of the wall. And he's gonna kind of sit down, and you'll hear a window open up behind him, and then if you're still watching him, he'll kind of like point his large panda paw towards his pipe once again, and just a little flicker of flame is gonna and then catch his pipe on fire, and he's gonna kind of be leaning back and blowing it out the window. And what would you like to do? What?
I might join him for a minute, just talking some more, catching up on some of the finer details of our adventures, now that Wubb's like calmed down a little bit more.
Okay. So kind of walking over, you kind of like put your arms up over on the on his bed and just kind of scoot up and hold your hand out, and he hands you the pipe, and you take a nice long drag of it, and you're just not used to this level of tobacco anymore. And at this point, I will. So we have Nimbus upstairs, Zuya upstairs because everyone else has left. Boris, Adram, Hira, and Torin. So we're back at the Swinging Sword Inn for the rest of the party. What are we doing?
Sleeping.
Okay.
Boris is in his room. He's praying to Merkel, thanking him for his blessings.
All right.
For to take more lives and bring more souls to Merkel.
So, kneeling in your room towards your effigy towards of Merkel sitting underneath the window, hasn't moved since the last you've been. As you kind of straighten yourself and look over towards the mannequin where you had put your armor, there is a new set of armor shining with a glossy black with these kind of like reddish veins that are flowing down it. And as well as you feel as if slightly bit more righteous, if you will, for the lack of a better word. As for Torin, well, we'll move since you're asleep. We'll move on for now. We'll let we've got Ed and Adram and Hira left. What is Zuya doing?
He's just sitting on the floor looking out the window, waiting for a response, meditating.
Okay, cool. And Hira?
Oh, I was muted. She is in her room, not asleep yet. Anybody directly on either side of her might hear some rustling, as if she's moving around in there.
Okay. Adram?
He would be praying to Lathander for Hira and Torin for their current struggles, and for Murderface that he will have a safe journey back home. Not just because Murderface is awesome, but because Androm doesn't want Boris to spiral back down from his somewhat pleasant mood for Boris, at least.
All right. And
then when he's done with that, he'll just lay in bed.
So, if you would like, seeing as your room is adjacent from here, as if I remember right, or next to, you can make me a perception check. God damn it, roll 20, cooperate. Okay. So you do hear the faint sound of rustling and things kind of like being moved around, and there's a slight sound of what sounds like kind of a glass bottle in Hira's room kind of being knocked off of whatever it was standing on and like ting, 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 rolling across the floor.
All right. So he would be laying in his bed, unable to sleep. Not so much because he's like afraid of any nightmares, because he hasn't had any since they visited Lathander. But he realizes that Hira is still struggling, and he's not a fan of that since he was kind of there to protect her, and it seems like all he's got was blessings and all she got was curses. So he noticed when we were downstairs that her mood seemed a little dark, and he's not really sure what to do, but he realized that talk to her sooner than later, and he was hoping that she would ask for help, but it doesn't seem like that's happening. Because she would know as well as he would know that he's been there before and feeling alone and a pariah basically amongst the peers. It's not a good thing. So he would probably he'd get up and start walking towards the door, and he'd be like, I hope she lets me in. And he'd go to leave and walk to her door. That's, I believe, right across the way.
Yep, right next door.
And he would approach and I would knock.
So you're able to knock, and as you were walking up, kind of quietly, you were able to hear, still the sounds of scuff or like things ruffling around inside of Hira's room, and it goes silent for a moment, But putting your ear to the door, you're able to again hear the sounds of rustling. And after a few moments, there is no answer, but there's still the sound of movement inside.
So he would knock a little bit louder, not loud enough that it, echo, but louder than he did before.
Still nothing.
So now he's getting a little worried. So he's gonna try the door to open it.
Definitely not locked.
So he will walk in, and
as you walk in, you immediately notice that Hira is still fully dressed in her plate armor. And given that she was the first one to kind of say that she was going to bed, this is a little weird. And kind of looking at the rest of the doorways that are represent each of y'all's rooms, everyone else, you don't see any light coming from underneath them. Kind of giving you the inkling that everyone else is already kind of settled in for the evening.
Hira, as he'd ask that as he kind of walking towards her, looking around and realizing that the room looks like it's ransacked, and the rustling that he heard must have been Hira packing for some reason. And I don't think she stops.
She does not notice them.
So he's gonna go Hira to try to be a little bit louder over the commotion.
She's kind of look up with a jolt, freezing in the middle of packing away some of her clothes. She's gonna kind of be caught by surprise. She blinks a little and she stands up straight. A drum! And she sounds oddly flustered, which is unusual for her.
What's going on? Are you leaving?
She doesn't answer right away, looking almost a little guilty. It's very strange. You've never seen her like this before. She's kind of looking around the room a little. She's thinking about coming up with an excuse, but she knows, and Adram knows she's never been a very good liar. So finally, her shoulders kind of sag, and she says, "I need to do this next part on my own, Adram."
With that, he'll kind of like square off to her and subconsciously like block her from the door. Do what alone?
She kind of sets her jaw, seeing him kind of take that stance. I told you, Adram. She's in my head. Our connection is still open, and I don't know how to close it, if it's even possible. I'll never give up this mission, and neither should you, but I'm putting you and the rest of our friends in danger every second I remain with you.
You know better than anyone that I've struggled with that exact thing. And what did you tell me every time I seem to falter? Stay on the strong path and power through.
While Adram's speaking, it doesn't really seem like Hira hears him. Actually, in the middle of that, she squeezes her eyes shut, literally not even hearing him talk. And her face is now just a mask of pain. And when she speaks again, her voice is barely a whisper. I can hear her now, Adram. She's fucking singing. She wants me to bring you to her. Play right into her hands.
So, and as this conversation is kind of getting a little loud, Boris, Zuya, and Wub, you all can, or I'm sorry, Torin, you can make perception checks at disadvantage. Zuya being in your meditative state, Boris and Torin being kind of dead to the world. And I would say Nimbus as well, but unfortunately he is not with us.
Those are perfect rolls for people that are asleep.
Those really are.
maybe roll 4 Nimbus just for flavor.
Nah,
No?
I usually don't try not to do that whenever we're here, whenever we're playing,
Alright.
just to maintain.
Nimbus is extra dead to the world.
Yes.
Just sitting in a bowl made of its own water.
And the actual bottle.
Yeah.
But at this point, the three of you don't really hear anything. Torin, you do hear the creaking of your bedroom door, but that's it.
That's for other reasons. So after he like her plead basically that she's toying, Tadriel's toying with her. Adram's gonna try to be a little more resolute and be like, exactly. And now the saying applies to you here with this struggle. Going alone plays directly into her hand. She isn't plaguing you because she's bored. She's trying to break you. And when you are too weak to fight back, she will win. He's gonna like lock eyes on her.
Kira still seems to not quite be listening, and she shakes her head violently, almost. And if she's playing mind games, trying to get me to think she wants me to go off on my own, so I do the opposite and stay and lead you all to her? And she kind of looks confused by even what she just said, like she didn't even quite follow what just came out of her own mouth. I can't risk that. No. She's really firm now, shaking her head again. It's better if I split off on my own and we continue our searches independently. That way Tadriel won't know your every move. I need to do this, Adram, to keep you safe, to keep our friends safe, and give us the best shot at finding her.
He's gonna do like almost like a I can't believe this type of laugh. If you take a minute and actually think this through, you'll know what you were saying does not make sense. The best way to defeat your enemies is to divide and conquer them. Don't fall into that trap. We need to stick together and continue what we are doing. She will meet her end, and justice will be served, and Tyr will be avenged. Drum's kind of imploring her to knock some sense into her and see the wisdom in his words, even though his wisdom isn't that high.
Hira's kind of like resolute face kind of begins to crack a little, and as if her mind's at war with herself, and she looks torn. Her heart is telling her one thing, but her brain's telling her another. You don't understand, Adram. I'm a detriment to you and the rest of the party as long as I stay. She would always be one step ahead of us. We only found her because she wanted us to. It would be impossible to catch her on our own terms. She knew we were coming. With me in the group, she would always know we're coming. We would only ever find her if she wanted us to find her. I'm a death sentence.
Is this Hira talking? Hira, the hand of Tyr, and his justice? Or is this Tadriel's misguided thoughts speaking?
Hira kind of sits down hard on the bed, pressing her hands against her face in frustration. I don't know, Adram. That's the problem.
Let her be one step ahead of us. Have you forgotten that she was the one that ran away from the fight? Like a coward? Why did she run away, Hira? Because Hira threatened her? Because Hira was so efficient in battle? Drum's voice is like sounding firmer as he he goes on with an almost holy fervor. She ran away because she saw us, our whole group, wipe the floor with everything she threw at us. She knows she is weaker than us combined. Do you remember?
Hira's hands kind of come down slowly from her face as she gives him a defeated look. Sounding miserable, she says. She left because we weren't even worth her time.
You don't believe that.
She kind of looks up at him, her eyes dead. How long has she been planning this? She didn't change allegiances overnight. There's no way she didn't know we were coming to that cavern, that we would walk in on her ritual. Have I been a part of her plan all along? By extension, all of you? What if I'm just another one of her puppets, and I continue to play right into her hands? She kind of looks down again.
Drum's gonna sit right next to her. Place his hands on hers. He thinks for a few seconds to make sure he says the right words. I understand your pain. Trust me, I do. I've seen people go from the darkest moment in their lives to saving everyone, including themselves. You can do it too. I believe in you. You are not a burden. You will never be a burden. Um, Drum is hoping that she hears him, but he can tell that she's still too caught up in her own mind.
Yeah, almost as if she barely heard him, she kind of continues on. I never saw it coming, Adram. I'm so stupid, so ignorant. I trusted her so blindly. I knew there was something wrong. I'd had a vision of Tyr in that cave, being tortured and chained up. When I went to Tadriel with my concerns, she told me everything was fine, that she'd just talked to Tyr, he was safe, he was fine. And she kind of pauses, kind of trying to get a hold of herself, her fists clenching in rage. I believed her. Not once did I doubt her. How am I ever supposed to trust myself again? Everything was a lie. How can I expect my friends to trust me with their lives when I can't even trust myself with my own thoughts?
Do you trust Tyr? Do you trust me? Neither of us has ever steered you wrong. Have we?
She doesn't really have an answer for that, clearly still struggling.
I told you before that you need to think before you act. You trusted Tadriel, even when your mind and heart told you differently. Learn from that experience. The only way to keep her out of your head is to go on the offensive and not give purchase to her attempts to gain a foothold in your mind. Adram kind of like looks down, removing like his deep glare at her to hope that she's paying attention. I know this seems bad, but you don't know the real struggle I faced for almost my entire life. Alganath toyed and played with me, and did so just to sow chaos in this world. Hera, I killed everyone in that village. Hundreds of people gone in an instant to dust, all because he wanted to show he controlled me, and he had his grasp on me and my soul. I never asked for it. I never invited him in. Yes, you were betrayed, but at least you know by who. Drum catches a tear before it falls too far down his cheek.
While he's talking, Hira kind of turns her face to Adram and she gives his hand a comforting squeeze. Because, she knows he's been through a lot. Far too much for someone as young as he is. She tries very hard to focus on his words. She thinks to herself, maybe if she concentrates on his voice hard enough, he can help her tune out Tadriel's voice in her head, who is still talking, even during this conversation.
Drum's gonna just keep going. Alganath haunted me for years. Lathander saved me. I'm not sure why. I still don't know. I was dead, or at least as good as dead. It was his words and hope that started me on the right path. I was still cursed with eldritch magic, but it was his influence that guided me out of that darkness. Focus on Tyr in the same way I focused on Lathander. He will guide you. I always thought you were put into my life to save me, but maybe I was put into your life to save yours too. Maybe it's not until we are lost that we really begin to understand ourselves.
Hira stares really determinedly straight ahead as she processes his words, as if, if she didn't find a point to focus on, she was going to start crying. She wasn't even sure what to say to what Adram said, if she was being honest, but finally after a bit, she sighs, her shoulders sagging. These last several months, The silence in my head has been deafening. I couldn't remember the last time I had Tadriel or Tyr's voices in my head, guiding me, comforting me. When they went silent, I'd never felt so alone. It was the darkest, the loneliest time of my life. But now, gods, nothing is safe, not even my own thoughts. She won't leave me alone, Adram. I can't tune her out. I can't get rid of her. She's just always there. And she says that last part through gritted teeth, and it's clear to Adram that Tadriel's whispering in her head even now as she's speaking, and it's hard for her to concentrate, to be present. I would give anything to have that silence again.
Silence isn't what you want either. She cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. You feel alone and in a dark place. But don't you see? The light shines brightest when you're surrounded by complete darkness. I use the powers given to me to save people. I took the fight to the enemy and stopped being the victim. I hope at least now you can see I've been reborn as a shining divine soul charged with restoring order to this world. I still can't believe it. But can you not see the change in me? So why do you think there isn't hope for you? I still have doubts. What if I chose wrong? Would things have been different? As Boris told me when we were eating breakfast, doubt is a hole in a wonderful suit of armor. You can't allow it. When you return to battle, or that hole in your armor will be the death of you.
Kira kind of stands up abruptly, shaking her head again, and her arms kind of go around herself, so she's almost holding herself. You don't understand, she says, and her voice is rising as she speaks. Tadriel's the one who found me. She plucked me out of a life on a pedestal and she gave me a purpose. She guided me. She brought me to Tyr. She molded me into the person I am today. I was nothing before her. Just a prize to be paraded around and sold off to the highest bidder. She's touched every part of me. She's rooted in my soul. It's worse than betrayal, Adram. I'm sorry, but it's even worse than being some god's plaything. Because I knew her. She was my friend. No, not my friend. That's not even the right word. Our souls are intertwined. We shared an intimacy nobody could understand. There aren't any words for it. And this is when the tears start falling very quickly. Even now, talking to you, Adram, she's in my head. Taunting, singing, laughing, mocking. And she slams her fists against her head with force, almost as if she could make Tadriel leave her head by brute force. I can't eat, I can't think, I can't sleep! And now she's actually screaming, and she kind of goes across the room and she swipes her hand across the dresser, sending the few of her possessions that haven't yet been packed flying across the room with a bang. She's in my head and I don't know which voice is hers and which is mine. And she tips over the dresser, actually, violently, with a deafening crash. I'm just a pawn in a game I never asked to play. And she knocks over the mirror so violently it goes flying and the glass shatters. It's all my fault! And she picks up a goblet off the floor and whips it at the wall. She just starts finding more things, anything she can find, throwing them as hard as she can. How could I be so blind? And she rips the bed sheets off the bed. She flips the mattress. I'm so stupid, so ignorant, so naive. And she actually picks up her armor mannequin and hurls it across the room. Why me? Why did you choose me? And she picks up her halberd at this point, which is laying on the floor. And she starts actually beating and slashing at the bed, screaming. My entire life, I trusted you. You gave me everything and I gave you all I had in return. And it's very clear now that she's not just blindly yelling and raging, but her rage and her words are directed at one person that nobody else can hear but her. We were supposed to protect him! We were supposed to make a difference in the world together! And she's sobbing now as she continues to scream and hack away at anything in the vicinity. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
So I'd like everyone left. So Torin, Boris, and Zuya, please make me perception checks at advantage for the commotion going on just down the room. And I would also gonna be making...
Torin's dead asleep.
well, lucky for him,
How's the nat 20?
Zuya and Boris, you definitely hear this. And Kalesa, no longer sleeping in the same bed as Torin, but seems to be in the other bed that had been in his room for quite some time. She's gonna kind of get up and shake Torin awake. There's something going on. You might want to go see what. I can't have her destroying my inn. You understand.
Torin's like, I got a headache.
I can't get it up. I'm sorry.
2 times in one night. Jeez, I'm not an animal.
So all of you kind of, get up and look out into the hallway, and you see that there's still light coming from underneath Hira's room.
There's also still a large commotion from that room.
And
it has not
yes,
stopped.
it sounds like she is going like crazy. What would the three of you like to do? Kind of just standing in the hallway, looking at each other, hearing everything going on.
I'm walking in the room.
Okay. You walk in, everything is open. There's no lock. So you just kind of see this destroyed room. The dresser is thrown over on the ground, and she's currently like hacking at her bed with her halberd to a point where when the bed has basically been completely destroyed, and with one giant swing that she brings it all the way back behind her head and swings down, and the handle of her halberd snaps completely.
And at that, she's gonna scream, just go, she's still screaming, she just goes, ah! And she kind of, yeah.
So, although Hira doesn't know it, Adram knows literally all too well what she's saying. But saying that to her will not help her at all at this point. So he's sitting there with his back to the door, almost in like sitting on his feet, like kneeling, sitting on his feet. And he's just waiting for her to get out the pain that she's bottled up for a very long time, which is, somewhat healthy.
Yeah. So when her halberd snaps, she drops it from her hands, and she actually goes to the floor and starts beating the ground with her fists as hard as she can, almost as if she's trying to beat a hole deep enough to bury herself in as she continues to scream.
As Drom sees her pound the floor, Drom sees that it might have gone past the point of good venting, as the droplets of her blood start falling to the broken wood in confirmation that it has gone too far. He basically stands up and drops down to his knees and bear hugs her, to prevent her from swinging down at the floor again.
When he grabs her, her chest is heaving with ragged sobs, and when he grabs her, she clings to him almost like he's the last lifeline in an ocean of grief and anger and madness that she's in right now.
Did just Zuya come into the room?
Yes.
Into the doorway?
I'm standing right behind you.
Everybody's just kind of watching this.
Yeah, so you basically have Boris, Zuya, I don't know if Torn actually got up, but Kaelessa,
Yeah.
you would have? Okay.
So
Everybody's just kind of poking into the room going,
Adram's gonna like let go of one arm around her and like hold it back towards them to be like, just stop, like, don't come in. And he's gonna start like trying to talk Hira down. Focus on me, Hira. Take deep breaths. Focus. He calmly and patiently, like, kind of pulls her away at her shoulders and looks into her eyes. You don't have to control your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them control you.
at his words, Kira's eyes kind of very, very slowly focus on him, and she holds his gaze like it's the only thing keeping her from going over the edge.
Hira, you are not alone. Tadriel has no hold on you if you don't let her. Focus on me, on your friends. And he's going to like hold up a hand to everyone that's poking their heads in the door. On Tyr, and keep pushing through. Promise me you'll always remember you're braver than you believe and stronger than you seem and smarter than you think. He notices, like, he knew that people came into the door, but he doesn't really know how to explain to them what's going on. But I'm sure through context, they kind of understand that Hira needed a moment. And he's just going to hug her again.
Hira's still sobbing and holding on to a
I
drum.
thought I was the one that was going to destroy them. All along here. Sorry.
Yeah, as you guys are, just kind of standing and witnessing this happen, we'll even Kalesia is kind of like sitting back behind Torn, and Torn, you do feel her hand on your shoulder, just kind of like peering over you, like, is she okay? What
happened while you guys were on?
I walk in closer. I put my hand on Adrama's back and put my hand on Hira, and noticing the blood coming from her hand, I use Cure Wounds to heal her hand.
So
only you could heal her soul.
Hira, this throbbing
She's
in
not
your
focusing
hand.
on it, so I will.
Oh, you go ahead, Zuya.
I was just gonna say, because she's not focused on it right now. That's something I noticed.
Right. And so Hira, as you're kind of holding onto a drum, you do notice the pain in your hand throbbing begin to subside, as you feel a bit of magic kind of surge through your body, in healing those wounds. And I would say, for the sake of, you would probably have taken like 3 points of damage, for that, or for pounding the floor. So Zuya, if you will, cast your spell and see what you get healed back.
That halberd, though.
Yeah.
And
Served me well for so long.
Just enough.
perfect. So you had some pretty significant bruising on your hands, as well as maybe a broken knuckle, and the pain kind of just subsides to a point where you feel like your hand's not really busted anymore. But after a few moments of composing yourself, you look around, and you see part of your party standing either or next to you in a drum, and the other part in the doorway. What do you 4 do?
Jesus.
I'm gonna help here while they're loitering.
I have a curiosity. Where did Hera leave pieces of her halberd?
By the bed, or what
Okay.
remains of the bed.
Gotcha. If possible, I'd like to try and collect the halves.
You gonna do some mending, bro? Hi.
Yeah, the 5 halves.
See what I can do.
Sure. So silently, Torin walks into the room and just kind of picks up the other half, or the 2 halves of your halberd, and just situating them in a way that it looks like situating them to make it whole again. And you cast your spell.
Yeah.
Is there a can you link it for me? Because is there anything like specific about mending? About like
Yeah, it takes a minute.
10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Verbal somatic. As long as it's a foot in any dimension, the breaker tear leaves no trace of total damage.
You might have to
Thing
do
that-
like 5 mendings.
The thing that's strange, I'm not super sure if I can actually fix it, is it at the bottom I can physically repair, but if it loses its magic, I can't fix it.
So, yes, you're very familiar with her halberd at this point, having seen it in action so many times, and the engravings of Tyr's hammer that had been emblazed into the side of its head have disappeared. And as you put the pieces back together, you are able to bring it together as whole again, but it is no longer completely engraved with iconography of Tyr.
I'll just place it on the bed once I'm complete with it.
Drum's gonna usher Hera kind of out and smile at the other guys, like kind of like a smirk type thing. Like, yeah, that could have been a better night.
I don't think a smirk's what you think it is. I think you mean grimace.
Grimace, whatever. And he's gonna escort her to his room, which isn't completely destroyed.
Okay. So
Walk out with him.
And as he's kind of like walking, it's like
He's gonna
I
fly
think-
through the wall and twice. And
that drum's actually a ghost. Hera killed him in that room.
Oh,
No,
God.
he's gonna walk by the guys and do the grimace and be like, I think we should get some rest. It's gonna be a
so he's a
long day
fan of
tomorrow.
McDonald's.
He's gonna bring Hera in.
at that, Kalesa is going to look over at Zoe and like, is McDonald's the name of an inn in the town?
It was one we passed by once.
We busted the Hamburglar for stealing some burgers from kids.
Why would they don't tell Wub. He'd be so mad.
He'd be very mad.
And a drum's gonna like lay Hera down in his bed and like tuck her in, kind of.
She's still in full armor.
Oh well. He's gonna help her, I guess, take off her armor.
She destroyed her armor
Like,
stand. So
the way I figure it, she's almost like shell shocked.
Yeah, she's not. She's completely unresponsive at this point.
Yeah. So like he's like unlatching things, and we've traveled as companions for a long time, so it's not like it's odd that we like know each other's like downtime and whatnot. So he'll like unlatch all of her stuff like slowly, almost ceremoniously, and
Oh,
he'll place
God,
them all down.
As he worships her.
Oh no. If anything, she's broken worshiping me.
Yeah, because she'd be no fun tonight, so he's just trying to get her out of her armor.
So
Anyway, so he
Don't
lays
worry,
her
she's
down
wearing
once
clothes underneath.
she's in her skimpy under armor. No, cool stuff. And he'll like lay her
See,
down.
he's trying to turn it dirty. I'm warning you.
He'll lay her down, and then he'll kind of like tuck her in, and then like he'll do like a
Where's
quick
Wob when you
prayer.
need him?
Quick prayer over
He
her.
decided not to be present for this.
I'm at my orphanage in my
Yeah.
own bed at my own house because I'm fucking rich.
Rich bitch.
James,
and he'll
bitch.
he'll like tuck her in, and he'll go over to like the chair,
I'm actually mixed, James, but
grab a blanket.
slide.
As he moves away, she's actually gonna almost really exhausted. This is the first response she's given in a while, but just super exhausted, almost falling asleep. She's gonna kind of reach out a hand to him.
He's gonna take it.
It did just occur to me though, like if you ever wanted a party member to have to undress you, what would be like the perfect one? Not only would he not ever want to do anything, but he wouldn't know what to do. All right.
and
I don't know if that's
so we
perfect
did,
then.
and the the camera shifts and slowly fades to black from the chaos in the swinging sword in to Wub just thrashing around in his streets or in his sheets saying, "I'm rich, bitch!" Just dead to the world.
Having a sick fucking dream, bro.
Getting that glimpse on onto Wub's inner thoughts and sleeping thoughts.
Wub is like 10 feet tall in his dreams. Not short at all.
Biggest guy around.
Now, Wub, as you are sleeping,
People ask him to reach the top shelf. You know what I mean?
you do have a slight dream.
Sick.
And it is of the teacher. And he's just sitting there flipping a coin.
Is this the teacher
then-
from the porno book he bought way back when?
So for the canonness of this story, no, it is not. That was just some misunderstood smut that he bought because the teacher is the teacher. This book was called The Teacher's the Teacher's Lessons, and hey,
Like the hard way.
and he continues flipping it for a few moments, and then flips it, and it lands inside the palm of your hand. And from that point
I look at
forward,
the coin.
From that point forward, you have a very easy and restful sleep.
Okay, like the dream just cuts out right there. I catch the coin and then just boof.
Yep.
Shit.
So
Bastard.
going back.
The bastard daddy stepped out for milk 3 years ago.
Oh God.
Flips one coin and thinks that's good enough. Just want a hug, Dad.
Cut it or screen fading back to the swinging sword in. We have Hira essentially being tucked in by a drum, leaving Zuya, Boris, and Torin and Kalesa just kind of standing there looking a little shell-shocked, especially after Boris kind of seeing this tirade and taking on some of his some of Hira's pain, just headbutts the wall, leaving a massive dent in it. And Kalesa is just gonna put her hand in her face, like, I'm gonna have to fix that in the morning.
I'd just like to say that when Hira reaches out her hand, he grabs it. She kind of tugs him towards her. She does not want to be alone.
Okay, so a drum cuddles her. Not sexually, completely
Platonic
platonic.
cuddles.
But again, a drum knows exactly what she's going through. So he kind of just cuddles up. Spoons her. Platonically.
That's a little much. You can lay side by side. No touching.
Yeah. I'm just holding.
Not
her
even
up
butt
there.
to butt? You're not even friends.
And defeat.
Right?
Drum immediately
that's
pees on
not
her because
comfort.
Boris said the best way to show your friends you love them is you pee on them.
No, that's
all that. You gotta
I
at
don't
least
know
like
about
play
that.
some footsies, some butt to
I
butt.
mean,
Like if
that-
there's no contact at all, are you guys really friends?
See, that's the thing I don't understand, and like this is completely out of the story. This is me, Kyle speaking, not DM. I don't understand why Kristen gets so mad at me when I pee on her. Like,
understand it.
that's the best way you tell someone you love them. Like, I don't understand.
I learned it from a rap guy.
Men.
No, a drum has like an arm out. She's like laying on the arm, so it's like they're side by side. They're,
Look,
like,
if
cuddling
rap
that
guys can pee on people, why can't I?
Because
And
you're not rich.
Yuki joins the party.
Fuck.
Wow!
Oh. Look at that old dude.
Oh, I've got one. What?
Hi,
What?
hi, you please don't pee on us.
She's probably messed up a bunch upstairs because I've
Fort,
been letting her. I've been
The
letting
way
her
he
some-
looks up at you, Port.
I know, and then Yuki's sitting over here just like, let me down, you fucking asshole.
Say hi, bitch.
And then there's Jazzy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like
Call
Your
me a
friends,
bitch.
your
no,
friends.
I'm not gonna lie. If you guys ever met Jazzy, she is literally probably the chillest cat I've ever seen in my fucking life. She's not super hyper. She's not over rambunctious. She's just chilling, man. She's just living the good life.
Bort looks pretty slothless.
She's so
And just
adorable.
laying
She'll let
there.
you pick
And
her
I
up.
think
Pet her.
I think I have the best opportunity to meet Bort too, probably,
Well,
because I am the closest.
All right,
Yeah.
back to D&D.
All right, I'm coming to
No,
back to
we're
steal
talking
Port.
about animals.
I cuddled with Kira. Fade to
and
black.
Hot.
Sexy as fuck.
So
No,
allowing
that's
everyone
Kyle's
to or everyone kind of just looking in, just like what the fuck just happened. You kind of separate into your room, into your individual rooms, and lay into the kind of start relaxing once again. And Torin,
Yes.
as you let your consciousness slip, you're no longer in the, and as you begin to relax and fall into sleep, you're no longer in Red Larch. Your vision kind of blurs a little bit and then reconvenes into the crystal clear, and you see a big sign that says "Next time" on Princes of the Apocalypse.
Ah. Ah. Ah.
Find out next time on D and D.
No, it's not D and D. It's D in D. Yeah.
Didn't fit the theme of the DBZ
The D-
thing.
The D is
Damn it.
the D is in the other D. You know. Like
Okay.
Docking.
Whoa.
Credits. Directed by
Hit the
Dick
credits.
Wolf.
Hit the credits.
Full
Dun, dun, dun,
docking
dun.
Roll
content. Oh, and by the way,
Dun, dun, dun,
this is on stream. We love you, Twitch.
Oh no! Everyone docks on Twitch. Wait, what?
What?
Huh?
What?
Although, if you think about it, Law and Order SVU got away with a lot of stuff during like daytime television.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
Ice
they
T
really
would
did.
just walk in. It's like, did you know that she had excrement in her bowels and that
I
it was
remember-
exploded all over the place?
I've only seen a
Kids,
couple
man.
episodes of SVU, but I specifically remember one where this girl was about to get raped, so she like bit the guy's dick off.
Yeah, that's the appropriate answer. Yeah, I
Good
support
tactic.
that shit.
She's not wrong.
Tactic.
Yeah, exactly. She's not wrong. That is a
100%
100%
guaranteed
effective
to make sure
tactic.
he never rapes again.
Valid
Exactly.
tactic.
Like I hate to say it, you know, she might pay the heavy price in the end after that, but again, 100% effective maneuver.
Well, if
Worth
he has
it.
communicable diseases, but I'm pretty sure he was not thinking of rape at that point, and most likely bled out.
No. At that point, he has become an injured animal. There is no more dangerous creature on this planet than an injured animal, and mankind has the deadliest two weapons in their possession: their hands.
I'm just saying, if
Just
half of your
hit
dick
the-
is is chopped off, I don't know if you get that angry.
Oh,
I
dude,
think
no,
you
I'm
howl
swinging.
and
I'm
fall.
swinging. I'm swinging like my hands are fucking
Oh
Louisville
my! I did
Sluggers.
not
Have you ever
mean
been
to
hit in the
start
face
this.
with a
I'm
brick?
sorry.
You just hit the male G spot though. You know, hit that spot.
Yeah, you gotta
That's why
go
I
get
said
up into
no,
the
like, dude,
prostate.
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
over
level of
before.
pain.
That's the
Like,
point. At that point, it's
Tom-
over before. Yeah, and he's like,
Tom's-
oh, I'm sorry. That doesn't normally happen. when you
Tom's,
go to-
Tom's guide to fending off rapists. You make him come quickly. Oh no, he's
No,
raping me. Ugh. Oh well. Bye.
That's how I teach you how to defend yourself. You just hit the male G spot and it's over. before
Well,
it can.
And just for a little prelude of next session, I have all of the boons that Lathander will be gifting you guys, as well as some of the other gods. So it may not be directly from Lathander. I have them written down, and we will go through them next week throughout the week. So they will be available to you next session. And, feel free to communicate with me about any kind of plans that you guys wish to start out, so I can kind of get a sense of what is going to happen next. And I really appreciate you guys coming through and playing D&D with me again.
Wub's gonna legitimize Trosh's business because remember the Master of Trade in Waterdeep? Wub's gonna make even more motherfucking money. Oh my god, am I becoming Gallywix? I fucking quit. I quit!
You have done it.
I hate this character now. I hate you, Wub. No, I don't. I can't do that in good conscience.
But I appreciate you guys for a fun evening, and I appreciate the chance to kind of get a deeper look into each of our characters that I do feel like we've kind of missed in the beginning of this campaign. And you know it. Hey, I can't say, $20 is $20. You said it, not me.
Hey.
But we will be reconvening next week at the same time. And I really hope you guys want to come out and see or watch another stream of Princes of the Apocalypse. Have a good night.